wrapped around your soul with no control. You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I'll run, I'll hide. Darkness always clouds my mind. When I look behind, it's moving closer every time. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. This darkness, my old friend, you get me till that's the end. Can you feel it wrapped around your soul with no control? You can't breathe when you're drowning underwater. There's so much water. I can't pretend that I have a strong defense. This darkness, my old friend, you get me till the end.
What's going on, folks? Will Stewart here with another Q&A show. My name is Will Stewart, and you are watching THFCRants. Before we get going on the show today, let's handle the business side of the show. The business side of the show. It's not a business side of the show. It is the most important of the show to me because it's the part that involves you. Part that involves you guys. And that is Williams Rangers, the folks there that support the show. They're on Patreon. And we have got Spartan 7 Gaming, Wayne Bonner, Mama Coates, Celery Agent, and the Mysterious AG. Thank you for helping us support the channel. We appreciate it 1,000,000,000%. Today's show, first hour of the show is just a Q&A with me and you, focusing on the questions that you guys have for me. So let's get rocking in the comments. Who's here today? Who's watching today? The virtual government project. I'm guessing that's Eugene by the shirt. If I'm wrong, correct me. I think you've changed your name. That's cool. And we've got Kevin Murray here. Good evening, Will. Good evening, Kevin. Mr. K is also in the house. What's going on, Mr. K? How you doing, my friend? And we've got the Yid Kid. And the first question of the day, why is my camera not focusing on my beautiful face? Jack Kanicki's in the house. What's going on, Jack? He says, Will, you said your son likes to play in the midfield. Is he an 8, a 10, or 6, in your opinion? He's most definitely a 10. And probably more, I would say more of a classical number 10, too. Classical number 10, he likes to be the creative force on the field. He likes to pass. He likes to beat people in the dribble and transition. Likes to play the ball in behind and take a good shot as well. And we've also got the Yay Kid in the house. He says, get Will to 600, guys. Yes, please do. Let's get Will to 600. I think I'm like 12 off. So our streams normally get about 1,000 views. And so only about 20% of the people that watch the stream are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not yet subscribed to the channel and you are watching the stream, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us. It would be great. We've got Marcelo. He's saying just here to stop by and say, yes, yes, we should protest. Yes, we should. We absolutely should. We absolutely should protest. 100%. Who else is in the house? Starting out, G-Mart, get Levy out. New chairman needed. Too many mistakes. Will looks vexed, worked up about something. Spit it out, man. No, I'm good. I did not check my Twitter feed before joining the stream. I wanted this to be focused on you guys, your questions, and not some ABS. Man, what is going on with my camera today? I don't know what's going on. But who else is here? We've got Sean Moran, big up Will. Joseph Monahan's in the house. Good afternoon. Will Stewart, king of the people. I don't know if I would go that far, Joseph, but thank you very much for the compliment. I appreciate it. Rico Z99, evening. Good evening, Rico, all the way from China. How you doing today? Staying up late with us, Rico. Miami Leafs fan. What's going on? Thank you for the sub yesterday. I appreciate it. He said he just picked up his banner from the printers, ready for Saturday, and is stoked for the protest. That's excellent. Excellent. Cody Max in the house. Partner in crime. Full Works is in the house. Hello, hello, hello. Sounds like Messi. Maybe one day he'll be Messi. But he's really, I think he's a good player. He is my son, though. Let's see. We got Jack here saying, sorry, Will. I had to pause the stream. That must be awesome. That's your son is classy number 10. Is that a father's dream position for a son? I don't know. I'm kind of a realist, so especially now that in the modern game, though things may change as he grows older, but in the modern game, that number 10 spot's kind of going away. That classic number 10, it's kind of gone to the wayside in the modern game. So, you know, he gets stuck out on the wing, left wing. Sometimes he just does. I don't know if he has necessarily the pace. He definitely has the skill. I'm not sure if he has the pace to play a winger. He does play striker sometimes, but then he doesn't really get on the ball as much, and I don't think he impacts the team near enough because the team he plays on struggles to make it up the pitch. And so I would really like to see him, maybe even play more of a right back or left back position in the future. Not so much now because they, for whatever reason, at his age or for the team that he plays on, fullbacks don't seem to play the way that they should. They don't really overlap. They don't really. It's almost like having 4 center backs in the back, which is kind of tough. Sometimes it's not the case. In ODP, sometimes they'll play the way that a fullback should. Kid says he's number 7. It's good. Playing on the wing. Limey Leafs fan says, if we the fans don't do anything, that's just what Levy wants. He thrives on fan apathy. We know there's a sizable portion of the fan base who will always support Levy and ENIC, whatever they do. Nope, I agree with you. And that's kind of the topic of the day, of the show today. The question topic of the day is, after the apology that went out a couple of days ago, do you guys think that we should still be out there protesting? Do you think that we should be doing that? And I say, heck yes. Hell yes. We should be out there protesting like crazy. I do have a promotion for that for people that are watching. Man, it's doing it again. It must not like my gray sweatshirt today. Remember that. Note to self, don't wear gray on stream. Don't wear gray on stream. ENIC and Levy out. We want our club back. A weekend of peaceful protest. If you can't make one, make the other. Even better if you make both. All right. Even better if you make both. Meeting point is outside the Spurs shop. Outside the London Stadium. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in London. Saturday the 15th of May at 12 p.m. Sunday the 16th of May, 10 a.m. Hashtag Levy out. Hashtag ENIC out. If you can be there, make sure you get there. Make sure you get there. And, yeah, folks. Wayne Bonner says, apology, I compared it to toilet roll. What did you compare to toilet roll? What did you compare to toilet roll? Does he like Harry Kane? Yeah, he likes Harry Kane. Heung-min Son's probably his favorite, but his favorite player is Paulo Dybala. He kind of has that. He likes that, false 9 type position player. That's who he really, really, really likes to watch. When he watches a lot of highlight films. My son likes to watch a lot of highlight films. The flicks and the tricks. Getting that in and out. Well, Ferguson's a classic number 10. Yeah, but the positions, it's disappearing. It's disappearing. Is he left-footed or right-footed? He is right-footed, but he's very good with his left. In fact, secret for the people who hopefully are... Man, it's doing it again. Every time I try to look at the camera for some reason, it wants to go out of focus. Being right-footed, he is very, very good on his left foot. He's very, very good on his left foot. He's actually scored more goals with his left than he has with his right this season. So, and when he's dribbling, he likes to dribble to his left. So he'll feint right and go left, which is unusual for a right-footed player. That's what he likes to do. That's what he likes to do. Let's switch over here. And then we'll add the questions up on the screen. Let's get back to the questions. Is your son like Kane when he has to drop deep? Yeah. Yep. Probably runs more than anyone on the team. He's really smart, number 10 too, especially for a young chap. He always backs people up, right? So if the ball's out on the left and the fullback is there, he's always in position to help him out. If the ball goes out to the left winger, he drops him behind to help him out. And the ball transitions center. You know, he's always there finding space. If you want to see some of his older highlights, I haven't uploaded anything to that in probably about a year, but you can find Paul Stewart Soccer on YouTube or PS7 Soccer on YouTube. And there's some highlight videos that I made back in the day. It's all about Roblox nowadays with the young. I think he does play some Roblox. Not 100% sure. Mr. K says he's number 12. It's true. I'm a number 12 as well. Eugene says smash the like button. Yes, definitely smash the like button for the virtual government project. I'm assuming that that's the channel that you're starting on the political issues that your wife, home country, is facing. And people check that out if you get a chance. Then we got Aaron Dubba. Apologize for using the wire roll bit. Hey, no problem, mate. Like I said, water under the bridge. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. And then we got Rico's Z79. Protests because they sold out are sold to the ESL. I think it's more. I think there's more involved in that. That's definitely a main point, but I think it's more than that too. I think that we should also protest just for all the bad stuff that Levy's done to us over the years. I think that's an important thing. Exactly, 100% full works. I agree. What did you compare to a toilet roll, Wayne? Maybe you answered that earlier. Can't handle the salt and paprika. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm sitting right in the middle of the square unless I accidentally changed the focus mode by accident with my fat thumbs yesterday when I was preparing for the stream. It was an excuse of an apology. It was an excuse for the apology. In fact, I don't think it was an apology at all. I think it was more of a distraction, a paper screen to not only subvert the Tottenham Hotspur supporters trust, but also try to deflate the momentum, the wind of the ENICOUT, because Dr. Evil is a crafty man. Joseph Monahan, is that why you don't rate Lamella? I don't rate Lamella because he's only one-footed. I don't rate Lamella because he doesn't get enough attacking returns. Doesn't have enough attacking returns. I think in number 10 should have more assists, more attacking returns than wingers, in my opinion. If you're going back towards that classic number 10 in a 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. 4-4-2 diamond. An inverted forward, yeah, that's kind of what wingers are. That's the new thing, right? Is they're inverted wingers instead of the wingers getting wide and filling the corners of the box. A lot of wingers nowadays are playing inverted, so they're playing just off the the top left or top right corner of the 18-yard box, and it's the fullback's job to get in behind. So there's not a lot of not a lot of room out there anymore. And so the number 10 position, the creative position, they're kind of using those inverted forwards that has attacking players. I'm behind in the comments here. Maybe you can play like a false 9 and also as a right winger, since you could inside on the left or take to the byline on his right. Dangerous. Yeah, I would say as he grows up and gets a little bit stronger, he's young for his age. So he's an 07, but his birthday's in December. So he's really only like 2 weeks away from being an 08. So most of the kids are bigger, faster, stronger. So I'd say about 15, 16, when everybody starts to even out after, puberty is for the most part done, he should be able to play as a winger. Right now, he's just not as big as the other dudes. I can't either. Don't worry about it. I'm going to have to skip down here. Cody Mack has a question for me. Will, can you discuss how you view the in-person protests compared to the online forms of dissent? I think that the in-person protest is important because, and how's different is, you're getting outside media source, right? You're going to get the Sky News or those other entities to cover it because it's a spectacle. So make the spectacle as spectacular as you can without actually causing physical harm to folks. Yeah, don't hurt people and don't burn down houses. Other than that, I would say we're good. Practice gets you to Carnegie Hall. Eugene says, how can us international fans help this weekend's protests? Well, you get out on social media, share the links in the the different photos that people have going around that promoting the show. Let people know, spread the word, have that, kick that out there, do all of those things. And then, get involved in all the streams that are going on, support the channels that are out there that are going to be streaming it. We'll probably be going live during those times too, to help spread the word, get the, show the events that are going on through our stream and stuff like that. Kind of simulcast some of the stuff if the other fellows would give us permission to do so, to spread the word. You're welcome, my friend. Got Jack Northfield in the house. Welcome, Jack. ESL is just me. Bad component of the decision making that needs to be protested against. I think it's just a part of it. We need to be protesting against Daniel regardless. Gotcha. ENIC apology was toilet paper roll. Yes, it was. Wayne, I get you now. ENIC and Levy sold their own souls. They will never sell our souls. That's correct, Wayne Bonner. That is correct. Very much so. Correct. I agree with that 1,000%. Bernash Rao, what's going on, man? Guys, do you think Billy Wingrove should be a part of the board? No. I'm sorry. I don't mind. I like Billy's content. I don't think he should be a part of the board. I think I covered that one. Yeah. I'd protest against the THST at the same time. Get them to start negotiating with the club. Otherwise, the team just do a power grab. No, I don't necessarily think that the THST needs to meet the club on the club's terms. I don't. I think they should use the weight of the fans and make sure that they get their own terms. Right? You don't give in to pressure, threats, or demands, or fear. You got to stand up for what we need. And he says, I don't want to see Dyer Sanchez anymore. I'm sick of it. Why does that keep jumping around? I always miss things. Stop buying the merch, lads. Our overseas fans. Leauge just needs cat on his lap. James Bond villain, 100%. Yes, I don't want to see Dyer or Sanchez anymore either. And welcome to you, Junonim. 안녕하세요. And generally feel better off without any European football next season. ENIC won't invest for a rebuild. I'm kind of looking forward to that Europa Conference League. I think that's a perfect competition for us. One, it's not going to be very popular on TV, so it's not going to get a huge amount of TV revenue. Yeah. And, but yet it's also going to, be some form of competition, right? It's not going to be a huge revenue maker, but it's a trophy that we could probably win. And it may be, I would look at the Europa Conference League as the equivalent of like the Carabao Cup. To me, that would be the equivalent. And I would say the FA Cup is probably equal to Europa League. And then, Champions League is a different level on its own. And then we got Kevin Murray here. He says, I presume Levy and the board will be in the stadium Saturday at some stage. I think they may. I would hope so. Just to be honest, younger players nowadays, they tend to teach them playing multiple positions, helps them grow. Yep, that's true. My son can pretty much play any position on the pitch other than center back. He's not a center back. Anything else on the pitch, right back, left back, defensive mid, he plays sometimes, box-to-box midfielder. He'll play sometimes attacking midfielder, winger, striker. He can play all of those positions. So the center backs, only thing I feel uncomfortable in playing. Yeah, this show goes on for how many hours? This show goes on usually just until I want to shut it off. At least 2 hours. So we do 12:30 p.m. Eastern time here to 2:30 at a minimum. At 1:30, we open it up for the Creators Corner, while I'll bring on some special guests to the show. Will, do you ever see Billy's potentials in number 10? I do. To be honest with you, I think he's more effective as a number 10. But the problem is with number 10s that they do have to run a lot, especially in the modern day game. If you're expecting them to get back and help defensively, in a midfield 5 in defense, there's a lot of managers now that are expecting people to kind of to defend in a 4-5-1 out of a 4-2-3-1. So it's tough to do. It's the process to get ENIC out or change. Let's get them out. What do we want in realistically? I think that the realistic goal is to get Daniel Levy to resign himself as chairman. He could still be an owner. He could still be a board member. But I want him out of the day-to-day operations of the club at a minimum. But if that pushes his hand to go out there and drop 200 million pounds and hire a director of football, I'm not going to turn it down. But I still want Daniel Levy out of the day-to-day operations of the club. We got Kieran McDonald in the house. What's going on, my friend? Yo, what up, Will? And pals, thank you for watching the show tonight. Hope I answered your question for you, Clark. Not many Spurs fans with 2 billion pounds around. It's not about ENIC out as far as an ownership. I'm sure there's some people that want that, and I wouldn't be upset with it. But we can get them off the board, and that costs nothing. It doesn't take a new buyer to do that at all. All the way up here. I don't want to see Anderson at Tottenham next season. He's overrated in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, it can't be any worse than Moon Boots, right? So, Eva Man, hello, Eva. Hope you're doing well this evening. Late up your time over there in Hong Kong. I hope you're doing okay. Gmart. Levy had the chance to take this club to the top flight 2-3 seasons ago under Poch, but he was more concerned with building a monument to himself. Don't disagree with you there, man. Don't disagree with you. I think if he would have spent that money then, it would have saved himself a lot of money and a lot of heartache, and would have increased his profits in the future. So I don't see Daniel Levy being a genius businessman like some people like to tout. I think it's foolish. Some of the decisions that he's made football-wise. What power do the THST have? None really, other than just it's supposed to be a group of people together, right? So power in numbers, and them being having the dollars to help fight and affect change. Next time you want to buy Spurs merch, just buy an ENICOUT shirt instead. 100%. 100%. You can get that stuff at THFCRants.com. You can get the bun, moon boots, and ENICOUT. ENICOUT stuff, all the proceeds of that go to charity. There's face masks. I added a couple different new things to there because I realized that premium size sweatshirt only went up to like a size extra large. And I'm sure there are people who are larger than extra large that would like to participate. So I've added a few different models. I've also added lady shirts to that. So if you are a lady and you'd like to be ENICOUT, to support ENICOUT, that's there. And if you guys ever want to see anything in the store or a size or something that I don't have, please leave a comment in the video after it posts, and I'll make sure to get that stuff in for you. So if you have any requests, just comment on the video, and we'll do that. But yeah. But let's see. I'm gonna skip ahead here, guys. I've lost my spot. Lost my spot. Let's get up tighter. The protests are about the damage done over the 20 years, not just or because of the ESL. The THC should not meet when Levy decides, as they are handing him all the power and control. 100% agree with you, Wayne Bonner. You're spot on that one. You are spot on, right? Do not give them control. They are not the ones who get to make the terms. We are the ones. 100%. Everybody agrees with Wayne. I agree with you too, Wayne. Even realistically, I don't think that getting Levy to resign could happen. It sure can happen. Joe Lewis can come up and say, Daniel Levy, we can't take this pressure anymore. You have to resign. Right? He's not a majority shareholder of the club. It's very realistic for it to happen. Very realistic for it to happen. The thing that Levy is using unchallenged by us. However, he's single-handedly, with one decision, committed the cardinal sin of turning a majority of the fan base against him. Kevin Murray, the Bank of England stipulates certain measures before lending to Levy his credit, not to AAA. Yep. And the monument should create a self-financing long-term model for us. Surely we can see that. Needs to be paid back by May of 2022. I'm sure there'll be extensions that'll be placed on that, but honestly, it only becomes a financial gain to the club if the chairman uses the money towards players on the pitch. And Daniel Levy has not shown that he does that in 20 years. So it really is a monument to himself. He keeps saying he's going to spend money on the pitch, but he's not. He's not done that. Just hasn't. That's fact. This reason is ruined, but I'm glad Ali is back on track. I wouldn't say that Ali's back on track. I haven't seen a good performance out of him yet in a Premier League match. But the season is ruined. You're right about that. You're definitely right about that. Eva says, yes, she's here 1 a.m. watching Aston Villa versus Everton now. Hope Watkins scores. He's on my fantasy team. And I hope Aston Villa beat Everton, to be honest with you. Mr. K is chatting with Mr. Bonner here. Yeah, whatever the reason that you guys want to protest, just make sure you do it. Make sure you just get there and do it. Make sure you get there and do the protest. Make sure you do that. Make sure you get there and protest. Cody Mack says, if we are to believe that we are only going to buy players using funds raised from selling players, which one player would you sell, taking that into account? I wouldn't sell one. I'd sell as many as I can. for whatever price that I can and try to build around our star players. And then throw a little bit of cash in there too. Delhi plus 30 million for Grealish. I would do that. I would do that for sure. I don't know if Dele Alli would like to go to Aston Villa, but we don't have a stadium sponsor, no revenue from attendance, need cash from somewhere. Cash is king. Those are parts of cash, but they're relatively small payments, right? When you're looking at 360 million pounds for stadium naming rights, that's paid over a time period. It's not paid at once, right? It is, guaranteed revenue that you can count to the books or add, but it's not as big of an impact as you think. Neither are gate receipts. The biggest money comes from TV revenue. The biggest chunk of money, anyway. Hence the Super League and why they wanted it. We got shows where I walked out. 44 said there was used to be a football club there. Now it's a business. Yep, it is a business. Dele Alli plus 20 million for Gio Reyna. I think that's a bit much. I like Gio Reyna. I'm not 100% sure that he's as proven as Dele Alli is. I don't think he's as proven. And then we got Poise, ENICOUT, Levy out. Yep, 100%. Usually in 10 years. Can anyone truly say that they have both seen both Levy and Dr. Evil or Mini-Me in the same room together? I rest my case. Good vibes. 100%, man. 100%. Mr. K says, Wayne Bonner, I'm 50. Been in East London since I was 5. I've never protested in my life. That's how pissed off I am at what Levy has been doing. It's an insult to my intelligence and the fans. 100% Mr. K. Mr. K will be there at the protest. Which day are you going, Mr. K? I don't know. But anyway, any questions from me? A lot of comments rolling around. Interchat. You guys any specific comments, whether it's personal or anything that you'd like to get my take on? Says, I don't know, man. Reyna's balling out in the Champions League with BVB while Delhi needed Jose fired. And yes, man brought in to break into the worst Spurs team in years. No, I don't not like Gio Reyna. I'm an American, so I'm very interested in the American lads, what the American lads are doing in the world of football. I just don't think he's too young to really show that he is, cut and chisel for the Premier League. I mean, even Christian Pulisic struggled. But I'd definitely be hard pressed to do that. Is it true that 33% of Koreans are now Tottenham supporters? Yeah, well, I mean, I think there are definitely a lot of Korean supporters. A lot of them are Son Heung-min fans. And I think they'll probably, I would say probably a good, I could be wrong, but it probably get 50% of that 33% would follow Son wherever he goes. But yeah. People looking at for the Korean king, Son Heung-min. Who doesn't hate the Habs? Who's a Hab? Am I missing things? I don't know what a Hab is. Don't know what a Hab is. Don't know what a Hab is. Who is Gio Reyna? I've heard his name mentioned a few times. He plays he's kind of like a left winger / number 10 / forward type player. American guy. Plays for Borussia Dortmund. He's like 18 or 19 years old. He's the son of Reyna, the old school Reyna. And he's a talent, man. He's a good player. Scott says Habs are the Montreal Canadiens, NHL. Gotcha. I'm not a fan of I do like the NHL, but I don't know Canadian slang. What's going on, Brian Ireland? Thoughts on the Boateng rumors, dude? I think he's an old man grandpa. If we can get him on a free with low wages or decent wages, I say why not? Can't be any worse than moon boots. Yeah. Park has a statue in Suwon, I think. Hopefully somebody gets one built outside the lane. I think he deserves one. Habs are a Montreal hockey team. Gotcha. A lot of Canadians in the house. Thank you, Canadians. Montreal. Hab is a symbol of historical dominance in hockey. Gotcha. Why not just say the Canadians? Sup? Cody Mack. It's a long age ago. Gives good vibes. For sure. Good vibes. The Habs are the Manchester United of hockey. Spurs are the Toronto Maple Leafs of the Premier League. Gotcha. I'm a St. Louis Blues fan, so. Dude, I'm out on the coach debate. I'm not doing it anymore, to be honest with you. I think it's a distraction. So. Durix Kane, Will Stewart THFCRants. If we sold Son and Ali, would you buy Grealish and Neto? I wouldn't mind buying. Yeah. I don't know about Son though. Son and Ali for Grealish and Neto. I think we're losing money there, bro. I don't think Neto is worth even half of Son's rate, and I think Ali is worth at least 2/3 of Grealish's rate. So I think we're losing out on that one. 100%. I mean, a winger like Son, proven 6 years, proven in the Premier League. I mean, Neto is probably maybe, because he's a foreign player as well, maybe 40 million pounds. Tops. And I think Son's probably closer to 90, 95. Well, in London, if you piss off the current 50-year-olds, you really messed up. They've seen 70s, 80s, and 90s, so they remember things, promises, direction, betrayals. Yeah, what is that in reference to, though? But yeah, don't piss off Mr. K for sure. Where have I like been missing from the community? Who's Oscar in? Oh, Oscar the Grouch, the manager. Okay. It's all right. My brain's slow today for some reason. Because he won't sign a contract. Yeah, but he's still got 2 years on his contract left after this season. So, I mean, we don't have to sell him. He's got a long time. You know, when you have 2 years remaining on the contract, that's still a pretty big jump. And just because he hasn't officially said he won't sign the contract, so that bargaining chip hasn't been pulled. Teacher Screen is building how much on Louis' legal pocket? Oh, gotcha. I think that's robbery. To not invest 100% of a player transfer back into players, I think is theft. It's absolute theft. You know what I mean? And at this stage, we can all hope for coach-wise is the least worst option. I wouldn't mind Rafa Benitez getting it. He'd give Levy and ENICOUT a run for their money. Yep. Question for me. Will, if you could have one-on-one face-to-face meeting with Levy, what would you say or discuss? Well, I mean, I would definitely discuss the business side of things with him. I mean, he's obviously a far more successful business person than myself. But I do run my own business, so I'm not inept in that area. I would try to logically reason with him on why he should sign. If I were to meet Daniel Levy in person, if I were to have a meeting with him, I wouldn't be, cussing him out and doing all that stuff. I would try to make him understand the mistake. I try to be honest with him and help him to realize the mistakes that he's making. On and off the pitch. On and off the pitch. Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Mass clear up needed. There's some really good players out there who we could sign, just need to be clever in the market. I don't even think it's that hard, Dan. I don't think it's that hard at all. Make sure you guys, I think there's a lot of players out there, dude. I don't think it's hard to be clever in the market. But I have to insist that people watching the show go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you want, and hit that bell. Like I said earlier, there's 55 people watching now, so that means there's probably about 30 of you who aren't subscribed to the channel. Make sure you guys go ahead and do that. We really appreciate it. It really helps us to grow our influence, to get our message out. ENICOUT message and just our message as a channel here in North America. It helps the more people that like the video, subscribe to the channel, and come and comment on our streams and comment on our videos after the live goes down and the recorded side of things, the more people we can reach. Right. So help us help YouTube to push our videos out to new folk here in the United States, Canada, Mexico, right? Asia. And share the video with your friends, right? That's the easy one. You got a Facebook page, just and a lot of your friends are Tottenham fans. Just click that share button right down there. X out of the live chat and hit that share button and throw it out there for your friends to watch. Cody Mack says we're 11 off 600. I think we could at least get 595 by the end of today's stream. I think that's doable for sure. There's at least 6 people out there that haven't subbed. At least 6 people watching. He says, Kevin McDonald says, Will, did you see Son on the cover of that fashion mag? Reminds me of Joe Hart saying, Sonny wears some interesting cobbler. Yeah, to be honest with you, I don't look at fashion mags too much. Dude, I'm a super busy dude. I'm running a company, running the other stuff and I'm always trying to, with the extra free time that I have, I try to watch as many I'm a nerd when it comes to learning stuff. So my focus lately has been on live stream production, and I've been kind of hyper focused on this type of thing. So I haven't really been into the meme world lately, which I need to do. Otherwise, I come out of touch. Like you can kind of tell from this show today, I'm a little bit out of touch with the current Twitter memes. I need to get my face back in there. It's been a while, to be honest with you. WillStewartTHFCRants, did you see what the Liverpool fans do today? They stopped the bus with cars and they blasted the tires. I don't mind stopping the bus with cars. I don't know about destroying the tires on the bus. But no, I haven't seen that, D-Trex. I have not. I've been working. I was working before I came on here. Cody Max says essentially the cover of the magazine on a Twitter DM. Sounds good. Does that mean he's going to France? Why is he holding a chicken? As a rooster? His clothes are too small or too big for him, though. No, I mean that's style, right? They always do funny, crazy things. Thank you, Cody, for sending that to me. Gotta go, guys. I'll try to watch later on my mobile. The holy day for me called the. I have to get going to meet up with the wife and kids. Bless everyone watching. Thank you, Mr. K. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. If you could use a song from the fans to express the emotion involved to Levy, what one would you choose? For me, Metallica, Don't Tread on Me. Well, I could tell you which one I would use.
Leave me! You fool cunt! I can see you! You can see me! You
That's one I would use. That's the song from the fans that I would use. But yeah. Welcome to Come On Now. We are getting close to the part of the stream. What I like to call the creator's corner, where we bring in some of our YouTube friends to make the show even more happy. But I do this first hour for you, the fans. You're the one that makes the channel happen. You guys are the one that are most important. So I want to make sure that in our other streams where we miss a lot of the comments, that we have at least an hour a week where you and me get to sit face to face and chit and chat and answer your questions or your comments or your guys' concerns. For all you YouTubers out there in the world watching, sorry, Mr. K, but yeah. It's Brian Daigle. It is in your Tottenham away group chat on WhatsApp. Posted it there. I can send it to you personally as well if you need me to. Wait a minute. I think my phone died. You're going to have to check it in the Tottenham Way WhatsApp group, Prime. Thank you, Mr. K. Thank you for all you do. You're an amazing friend of the channel and soon to be contributor of the channel and creator himself. We appreciate it 100%. But yeah. So guys, without further ado, Brian Daigle says he got it. He's got it. Make sure you head on over to thfcrants.com as well as patreon.com thfcrants to support the channel and all that we do. But now is it's time for us to enter the segment of the show that I like to call the Creator's Corner. What's going on, folks?
Hello,
Mr. Daigle.
people. How we doing?
I've been doing really good. I haven't seen you in a long time, Brian. Have you been well?
No, mate, there's been loads of ups and downs at the moment that I'm dealing with, but all good, all good. And do you know what it is? I've been so well. After the Leeds game, it was not wise that I came on because no one else would have been able to get a word in because I would have just been so volatile. So I thought, you know what? No, but I'm back. I'm back and ready.
Back and ready to rock. Brian Daigle is back. Did you like that I pulled this one in?
Leave me! You fool cunt! I can see you! You can see me! You
My hero.
You're here. Yeah.
Do
Did
we
you ever
know
find
who
out who that guy was?
Who is this guy?
Do you know what? I think I've got a funny feeling everyone's gonna know who he is come Saturday or Sunday. I've got a funny feeling.
I hope so. I hope so for sure. That's definitely something I want to see on a channel at some point in time.
Oh, big time.
So, and Cody, how about you doing? You did a great job yesterday morning on your first ever
Yeah, it was fantastic.
morning THFC show. Right. For people who didn't catch that, make sure that you go and check that out. The morning THFC with Cody Mack. Right?
I
got it?
I got my next guest lined up too, eh?
Yeah, I heard it's some mouthy North London dude who
Some
now lives in
mouthy North
Canada.
London.
Somebody who will be well suited to discussing the pertinent events of the upcoming weekend.
Current events of the weekend. But look, for people that don't know, it's morning THFC with Cody Mack. You can find it every Wednesday, 6 a.m. on the Will Stewart THFCRants channel, which Cody is now part of, joining the family. We'll also have other new people coming in with new shows. He's got a teacup there.
I do love that picture.
I don't know how he shrinks himself into the cup.
Yeah, that cup's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Great, because it's Cody's, but it's weird. It's like, it looks like one of those fairground. It literally looks like one of the teacups at the fairground ride.
It looks like one of those old school,
This one or the one in the picture?
that one.
That one.
The
This
you're
one is
holding.
it's a curling stone.
Ah, now I get it.
Uh-huh.
Aha, that's very clever.
Yeah.
I don't
I
like the
can
red
tell
on
because
it,
you
but
were
very
holding the
clever.
handle.
Yeah.
Because you're holding the handle, it just looks like an earthenware crock type thing, like the old colonial type of deals. That's the thing. I get stuck watching curling sometimes during the Olympics. I don't know why.
This is what it's come down to. We're here to talk about Tottenham, and somehow we've got onto curling. That's how bad things have become.
There is some kind of weird hypnotic thing about curling when you're sitting there and you're watching those guys and they're shaking they're brushing the ice to get things going. It's like you have to watch it for a little bit. And then you're like, man, I've been watching this for an hour. I need to
that super intense moment where he's holding the rock and holding it and then just suddenly it's gone.
Now, what I want to see is the guy get down to the other end before the stone gets there. Once he's released it, have a race with the stone.
People are loving the show. Cody, they're saying great job.
Mike Pepper in the house. I love this dude. Love this dude. He's everywhere.
Yeah. And then the kid, do I count like a creator? Yeah, the kid, you can do like creator. You have to message me on Twitter or something because this one's not open to anybody. So I have to be able to send you a message to get you the link. So I don't know what social media you guys have. Anyways, how you guys doing today? And Brian, what are your thoughts on kind of the topic here? Like, first of all, I haven't really heard your main thoughts on the letter, the apology, and what is your response? I want to hear more about not so much the apology, but your response to some of the fan base saying all is good now. All is good.
Let me just sum up the apology very, very quickly. I can do it in 5 words for you. Blah 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 blah. So that's the first part of your question done. The people that say things are good now, this is what I got really, really worried about. And like I've been saying, we could go out this summer, and I'm just going to say 3 players off the top of my head: Skriniar, Grealish, and Dybala. We could go and sign all 3 potentially this summer, and still, I wouldn't accept it and say that things are all right because there'll be an ulterior motive somewhere else. Things are not okay. I have been anti-ENIC since they sat Martin Yo in half-time, so since 2007. And the amount of times ENIC or the fans have been that close to protesting, but then something like a smoke and mirrors comes up, and they're like, oh, no, things are good now. It's not going to... And then we have to build up this lack of tolerance or this lack of disillusionment with the board, and then they do something, and then we go back down, and then it starts again. Well, now we're at the state where, I mean, the ESL was the final straw for a lot of people, and I don't think that alone should ever be forgiven. So these people that are now saying things are okay, I just don't get it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I just don't get why the fans. And Cody, you say they're watching Alistair Gold's video yesterday. Do you think he watches the show?
There were a lot of parallels to some of the points that he was making.
I think
you could just tell. I wonder what like fully unhinged, unfiltered Alistair Gold would act, because that was I wouldn't say it was impartial. You know, you could tell that he's frustrated. Like the fan inside of Ali Gold wants to break out. You know, and
I think for me, what it was is it looked like he's been not watching only this show, but quite a few fan shows. And he's taking their side of this and morphing it in with his own opinions to have.
That's a great shout.
Because I mean, there were things that we talked about on this show that I hadn't seen anywhere else. Specific topics about, you know, the voting, the way the voting is, or that them using this new fan panel to subvert or to get away from the THST or to kind of create their own THST since the THST isn't willing to work with them. And so we're either really good commentators on this or he's been watching. And if you are watching, thanks for watching and thanks for continuing to watch the show. But yeah, I just thought it was really weird because it seemed like, it wasn't that he was parroting or copying. It was almost like he was using bits and pieces of information from multiple different channels and then adding it and then using his own analysis of the situation and morphing the two. Because when he was referencing fans feel like this, it was almost like exact topics from shows around the YouTube world. So, if he's a good journalist, he probably is out there watching different fan channels to kind of gauge the temperature of the fans during a lockout period. It would be impossible not to. So
I think you're right, though. Something you said, Will, which is really true. I think I'd love to see the unfiltered, no Ali Gold talking paper-wise, talking just solely as a fan. I think the video would be very different to what he's actually to what he's saying. I love Ali Gold. I love Ali Gold.
I think Ali Gold should do one show where he just uses that Muppet voice impression where he's trying to like make fun of the people that make fun of him, like, oh, you're just a Levy Muppet, you're a shill, you're all pumping the pro Levy stuff, blah blah blah. I just want an entire hour-long video of Ali Gold doing the Muppet voice.
That'd be hysterical. That would be hysterical.
Yeah, but 61 people watching right now. Go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. But Brian, man.
Yes, sir.
What do you think the main focus should be for the protest? Or do you think it should just be, if you have anything you want to protest about, just get your butt out there? Like, I don't think people have to be ENICOUT to be out there. I think if you're mad at Levy for not buying the players that you want, or you're afraid that the transfer window is going to suck this summer, or whatever reason you're out there, make your own banner, make your own sign, and just get your tail down there. If you're not 100%, if you don't want ENIC out, but you don't like the fact that he, didn't sign Grealish, something like that, just get him out there. What do you thought?
Oh no, I'm 100% with you. This has got to be. I could give you a list of just how many things I want to protest about, but you haven't got 3 weeks to go on your stream live. But yeah, it could be going forward. It could be the lack of who knows who's going to be manager. I'd love to go down with my Dora the Explorer banner and say this is our next manager. Have you checked her out? The way we're going, there's loads of reasons. Like I said, transfer policies, the lies, the lack of communication with the board. As I heard Cody say on one of the streams, everyone has said it. That letter was as corporate can be. There's no empathy. There's no humility. There's no nothing. So you could protest about that. You could protest about the ticket prices being one of the highest in Europe. There are so many things to protest about under this leadership, unfortunately. And it doesn't matter if you can only go down there for 10 minutes or you can go down there for the whole 3 days. Go there and have your voice heard. It's imperative.
100% agree with you. This is the Creators Corner. We've got Brian Ireland in the show with us.
I miss you, Brian. I haven't seen you for a few days.
How's it going, buddy? How you guys doing? What's happening?
Brian, have you been golfing? How?
No, just
why are you dressed
shirt.
like
just wear my golf shirt?
Man,
I wish it was
doesn't know.
You can't golf down here right now.
They've banned golfing in Ontario as like a way to try and curtail travel. There's a stay-at-home order in Ontario right now since
they've extended it.
Yeah, again,
April 20th, I think. It's been a month, and they've extended it to June 3rd, I think now. But like none of there's nothing that backs up the theory that golf is linked to any kind of spread of COVID.
It's ridiculous. In fact, it's probably one of the healthiest things you could do.
Well, the thing is,
maybe riding in carts together or something like that, but just walk.
Well, last year they had shields in between you. You could just put one person on every cart. You could just say no carts. There's so many different things you could do, and it's just so frustrating because they've completely ignored. Like, mental health is important too, but people are going. If anybody is like me, people are going insane right now, and
Nancy,
ugh.
Yeah.
Well, it's because they really don't care. They just want to control your movement. They could really care less about your health.
I've also just realised I don't think Brian's been golfing. I think he's just come back from a Where's Waldo convention.
What's that supposed to be? I'm wearing stripes. I got Where's Waldo here. I'll do up the top button. I'll be a mod for you for a little bit.
There you go. There you go. You come back from a Where's Waldo.
Now I'm English.
Why do you guys button the top button on a polo?
It's a style thing. It's a mod thing. That's what they used to do back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But we've got another guest to come on here who should be in school, but
great intro.
Yes, everybody.
What's
going on?
Everything's good over here, and you guys?
All good, buddy.
Good, man.
Getting through the day.
So you're in the Creator Club now there, Yid Kid. You've made appearances on several other shows over the past week. Tell us about what's going on there where you're at. You guys are doing some protests, you and your dad, right?
Well, my dad's not going to be joining me. He's a City fan. My uncle he's a Tottenham fan. I'm going to be going out, but it kind of got delayed a little bit. There's going to be some ENICOUT protests the organizer got COVID, so it's going to be delayed a little bit. We're still going to
That's
do
so
it.
Spurs. That's so Spurs.
Spursy protest right there. Oh man.
Gotcha.
Yidkid, where are you, mate? Where are you living?
Florida.
You're in Florida. Nice. Warm weather down there at least.
Probably hot.
It's hot
down there
yeah.
right now.
Know,
It wouldn't be warm. It'd be hot.
It'd be hot, yeah.
It's burning up.
Here it was like, I want to say it was like 81, 82 degrees already here in North Carolina. But
It's nice here today.
It is nice. Yeah, I just was out in my golf shirt and didn't have a jacket on, so that was nice. Felt like I was golfing anyway.
it's been a hot day. You kid, anything you want to talk about? You just came to hang out or what?
The apology, this apology by the board, it's like it's an excuse for the Super League, and it's something trying to delay the protest.
Yep, spot on, mate.
Yeah.
Hang on the money.
Brian Ireland, what are your thoughts on the fans, on a lot of the fans feeling like the victory is, the battle is over?
I think it's way too soon to say that. I think if you read the first paragraph, it's a bunch of excuses, and once you recognize that they're making a bunch of excuses, the following apology carries zero weight. It's just them recognizing that this protest is best for them to avoid, and so they saved it just before the protest and put out this, semi-ridiculous statement that they should have done 3 weeks ago. And I think it's utter horseshit, if I'm honest.
Yeah, no, I think that for this is, I think a lot of these fans that you're seeing out there saying that were already ENIC in or pro ENIC fans probably to begin with, and now that the letters come out, they're saying, "See, there's no need for us to protest now." They weren't
That's
really
I told
ever,
you so sort of scenario.
Yeah, they weren't really ever a part of the protest in the first place, right? And so they're just using the letter now as an excuse to come out and say, "See, there's no need. There's nothing to see here now. They've apologized. We've won as fans. Now they're a fan again, even though before they were, pro ENIC in the first place."
Yeah, not convinced, to be honest. I'm hoping the protests aren't affected by it, but I'm worried that they are. Weary that they are or will be. People are lazy, man. If they get thrown a bone, they'll just pack it up and walk away because they're just generally lazy. So,
what were your thoughts on Ali Gold's video from yesterday?
I actually haven't watched it. I've been super busy working and stuff, and I didn't get a chance to look at it. So I've heard a lot about it, and I have my opinion on Ali Gold is that I think he's generally a reasonably good journalist. Sometimes he gets it wrong, which is common for most journalists because you can't know everything. Sometimes you have to speculate, and he seems like a genuine fan, like he's trying to do his best with the situation he's in. I wouldn't say anything negative about him or overly positive. To me, he's not a god. I know some people are like, "Oh,"
yeah,
and
there's some people that treat him like the
Brian's
Bible.
one of them. Brian's one of them.
Well, no, I wouldn't go. No, what I say with it, Ali Gold, is Ali Gold always says, like, when he does his transfer rumours or whatever, as you saw with Gareth Bale, every year people go, Gareth Bale. And he goes, "I won't entertain these ideas. I won't just say," he won't speak because they're rumours.
Yeah.
He will say it because he doesn't want to discredit his sources. He doesn't want to give false information. Now, he obviously, every journalist, as Brian said, is going to get things wrong at some point. Right? But you got to remember, I started watching him when he started doing, like Chris Cowlin, walk-arounds around the stadium.
Yeah.
And he was like the first journalist that was proper coming out. And when it comes to believing what he says, as opposed to Sky sources, when it goes breaking news, Sky sources.
I agree there. Yeah.
100%.
I am 1 billion%.
Yeah.
Ali Gold. 1 billion% behind Ali Gold. And Ali Gold, all right, he can't say he can't say, right, today I'm going to do a report in the style of Brian Daigle, and then just go, leave you this, leave it.
Yeah.
He can't do it.
He's got to toe the line to some extent. I mean, if he wants to get in the media room when there's a press conference,
exactly,
he's got to toe a line. So it's a professional decision you have to make at times, and I completely understand that.
That's the point. That if you watch the video, Brian, he's actually pretty darn critical of this statement that they came out with. So knowing that speaking out against the hand that feeds him and whatnot could result in him not getting the kind of access, the kind of contacts that help him out as a journalist, it's pretty damning, the video So it's worth a watch, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Some
I'll take a
people-
look at
some
it now
people-
after you guys mentioned it.
Some people tend to like throw Ali Gold under the bus and say that he's Levy's shill and everything like that. I don't
Yeah,
find
that's-
that at all with him. I
Yeah,
think
that's
it's definitely unfair. So
There's definitely Spurs groups. I don't know if you guys know the one Oderefeser. It's just like Tottenham Hotspur Oderefeser on Facebook, and it's pretty big. They've got like 40,000 people on it, and they're very anti Ali Gold. They're always slagging him off, saying he's a liar and all this stuff. I'm like, come on, he's a journalist. He's not going to get it all right. Doesn't make him a liar. It just makes him a human. He makes mistakes sometimes. But
I think as far as journalists go, especially in 2021, he's probably one of the most genuine ones I've ever met.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Or not met, but seen.
Yeah, I'd agree.
What other journalist with like a platform his size goes on YouTube and does these 45-minute to 1 hour breakdowns where he actually inserts his opinion as opposed to just reporting the facts? Like,
true.
Yeah,
I agree.
Bob's
Yeah.
get in here.
And-
The links in the Twitter. I just don't think that, but he's not someone that you need to worship as scripture.
Yeah, just maintain your skepticism in every situation, and you can if you hear it from multiple sources that are reliable, then it's likely true, but it's not something to believe necessarily just because one person says it.
Yeah, for sure. You got to just remember that too, that he is on their radar, and he's been given information by people, and so he has to be skeptical too of whether it's propaganda that he's being fed,
good information or not,
right? Or that too. So
we know Ali's got a bunch of people who are going to watch it. Let's feed him some nonsense, or let's feed him a little taste of something and get it out there and see what happens. And
I think he's maybe becoming more aware of that now. I think that before the lockdown and before this whole ESL stuff, when there wasn't a lot of pressure on the board, I would say that there was probably no reason for them to feed him propaganda other than like if they want to promote a new thing or something like that. But now there's a lot of reason to do that, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Well, he looks it, doesn't he? If Daniel Levy, as we all say, is smokes and mirrors because he's doing one thing here, but he's actually doing something there. The amount of people he has telling him things, he has to work out as Daniel somehow drips something through. And is it for me to go here when I should be looking over here? He is the perfect sleight of hand, Daniel Levy. So Ali Gold has to be really careful with his sources, because one wrong thing that he gets reported on,
and they'll probably get
people
sacked.
like the other group, and not just that, when he does get something really wrong, where it could be something really good for us Spurs fans, groups like the one Brian Ireland was just saying, Aldo Fasa will have actual genuine reason to go hell for leather with him. And I like I said, if you tell me any moment now who is the number one Spurs journalist you trust, there's only one. There is only one, and it's him.
Yeah, was that
just before
Dan
I know you wanna-
Kirkpatrick? Is he a Spurs specific one?
Dan Kilpatrick? I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kilpatrick.
Dan Kilpatrick is but I don't think he's solely on Spurs.
He's
Will.
Spurs leaning, but he does other stuff as well.
Yeah, I like his
Just
tweets.
before we, I know you want to take this question that you brought up here, but before we does anyone else agree that Brian Ireland right now looks like the
There we go.
the villain of like a rom-com, like the guy that's dating the girl that he doesn't reserve, the protagonist.
I don't know how to take that, mate. I don't know how to take that.
It's like you're
I
like,
have no idea what you're talking about.
Fucking
you're
villain of a
like,
rom-com.
I don't even know what a rom-com is. So
It's a romantic
what-
comedy.
Gotcha.
the girl's with the asshole, and the hero needs to break
Am
them
I the
up,
asshole or the hero? Because I'm
You're the
fine with-
asshole. You're
Oh,
the
that's-
asshole. I'm definitely the hero. You're the asshole.
It's probably true, Cody. Let's just be honest.
no, he doesn't. No, no, he doesn't. Doesn't look like that at all.
Damn it, this
I
is
appreciate
golf.
that. I appreciate that, though, Cody. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, that'd be a compliment. I don't think he doesn't look.
I think he's just,
he doesn't look Chad enough to be Chad.
I'm not even remotely Chad. That's ridiculous.
I think it's there's a little bit of a distancing from the Barbie girl thing is what's going on here.
I was literally about to start singing that just to try to change the subject.
Do you know what? You probably can't get it out of your head now. It's probably your favourite song. It's your ringtone. It's everything.
I think you're right.
Bob can't see the link in his own Twitter group.
Okay, Bob.
Come on, Bob.
Bob, Bob, go
Put
into
your
the
glasses on, Bob.
Bob,
Literally
very
like 1,
simply,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 messages up from the bottom, Bob.
or very simply go into the Tottenham away WhatsApp group, it's there. I couldn't even see it, and I know it's there now.
Yeah, it's in the Tottenham away one. That's where I got it from. So.
Crying out loud.
Come on, Bobby, get it together, fella.
Anyway, for the panel, he says, if we miss out on top 4 again next season, does ENIC start looking to sell? Lots of debt, needs UCL revenue, maybe sell before the club loses too much value. But there's too many things in there for me to read that correctly.
Brian Ireland just said, "Come on, Bobby," and all I can think was, "Come on, Bobby, let's go party."
I think you should have sang it, Cody, because you're better at it. You're like more enthusiastic than I was. I was.
Well, if I did the things that I was better at, I'd be doing everything.
Oh, look at you go on fire today.
So if we miss top 4, do you think ENIC's going to sell?
No.
Yeah.
No, I
Not
think
this
he's going to
year.
wait for the value of the club to go back up again because he wants to get the debt, get rid of some of the debt with the NFL and some other stuff that's going to happen at the stadium before he sells it.
I think it would be at least 2 or 3 years of no top 4 before they thought about selling.
But that's stupid. You're meant to sell when you're strongest.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the other way around. I imagine the next season we get into top 4, if that happens, that's when he'd look at selling. From a value perspective, because you've got a team in top 4, you've got NFL games, you've got some of the biggest concerts, you've got obviously Spurs, which is the last thing they care about. But those are the things that are going to make all the money. So, if that stuff's all going well and fans are allowed back in, that's when the value's there. But right now it isn't.
Yeah, for sure. Right now, if you were to sell, you'd have to sell at a discounted price, a fairly big discounted price,
massive discounted price, especially because they'd be buying the debt too, right? So it's just a massive amount of money.
Well, I mean, it's held as a liability on the books. Liabilities aren't a negative thing. That's what people.
It doesn't mean you're not going to buy it, but it isn't as attractive, I would imagine.
Okay, so like if let's say you're this benevolent billionaire that we're all hoping it's going to swoop in and take over from ENIC, what reason would you have to buy Tottenham Hotspur as opposed to coming in and buying another club, even like Newcastle or any of the clubs in the championship, because if you're talking about the difference of $1 billion, if you bought a club that's in the championship, you brought Brentford right now.
The reason you do it, Cody, would be because
pump a bunch of money into Brentford and get yourself up in the Premier League.
You would be an American owner,
brand.
no offense to Americans who are here, but you would be an American owner like we see at Man United and what we see at Liverpool, who isn't necessarily focused on what happens on the pitch. You've got investment and is in that stadium and everything else that goes along with it, including the NFL. That's the attraction that's over and above everybody else, what everybody else has.
But is it worth the big difference in price? Like that, you were talking like 4 or 5 times.
I think the amount of money you make off of concerts in NFL is insane.
How much did Burnley sell for?
Oh, I have no idea. I'd have to look that up.
The thing you got to look at as well, in answer to your question, Cody, as well. Why does someone say Tottenham? It's like when ENIC bought Tottenham, their main aim was to build the stadium that we have. I mean, when you look at now buying Tottenham, apparently Abramovich was looking at Tottenham before Chelsea, but the reason he didn't buy the stadium or buy Tottenham was because of the stadium and how many years it would have taken him to get it developed. That's why he turned away from Spurs and went Chelsea, as well as other clubs. If you look at Tottenham Hotspur now as a package, yes, it's going to cost $2 billion, but you don't need to do. You're not going to need to invest in buying the new stadium. You're only going to invest in increasing it. You don't need to invest in buying a new training ground. You're only going to improve it. You're in exactly. So there are a lot of pros. Yes, it's a huge and wild sum, $2 billion, but the infrastructure and everything is there. Everything is there.
And you could also be a supporter. Like if you're you own $1 billion and you're a supporter of Tottenham, you're going to want to buy the club.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, I mean, more things go into it. Like and when they're doing evaluations, it's based on EBITDA, right? So it's earnings before, taxes and paying off debt and stuff like that. For people who don't know what EBITDA is, you can Google that. But what it is basically it's earnings. So it has nothing to do with how much liabilities you have. It's how they take what your annual income is, and there's usually a multiplier for that particular segment. So whatever the multiplier is, you can be 4 times, 5 times, 10 times, depending on how popular that space is or how fast that space is growing. Then you multiply the earnings times whatever that multiplier is, and that's what the evaluation is in simple terms, right? So the evaluation right now is probably even lower than $2 billion. I wouldn't even say it would be at $2 billion. But before we get into that, He's come on. He's got to get back and get even on me from yesterday. In the creators corner.
He's a Bobby girl in a Bobby world.
It's frozen.
Now he's doing his frozen thing.
Yeah,
What's up,
I
buddy?
have to say, Will, that music for Creators Corner, you need to send that to me on a long loop. That sounds like a lullaby to send me to sleep.
Lullaby.
What, this
It
one
sounds
here?
psychotic.
Oh, I can eat. That's so soothing.
Who's this one? For creators that are out there, it's called Stream Beats, and they have it's DMCA free, and so it's meant for playing in your stream.
Or
Yeah,
you could
Bobby
hire
girl,
me.
that.
You could hire me to do it since I make music and I can make some money from it. That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Check out that
yeah,
Tottenham
Barbie
Way
girl.
intro. Check out that Tottenham Way.
Well, Brian, you should think about that as a side gig. If you making a bunch of music, you can just make your own Spotify, because you make money from Spotify every time somebody listens to it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bunch of music on Spotify, like
Yeah.
2 different bands and my own stuff as
But I
well.
mean, if you make a DMC free stuff, then people, creators from all over the place, and you just catch the money off of the stream from Spotify.
DMC free. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
DMCA free, or it's basically
So-
copyright free music. So
So
Stream Beats.
Burnley,
I've got it in front of me right now.
the Burnley takeover, they bought 84% of the shares for 200 million.
Wow.
And look at that. They found the way to give free tickets to their fans.
Yeah.
So let's say Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I know that it's different. It's difficult to compare them, but I'm just saying, like, what smart billionaire is going to come in here and buy Spurs for $2 billion? You know, that is not like the historical. There's no precedent for that, right? Chelsea were bought for 140 million. That was mostly debt. Spurs were bought for 23 million. Manchester City were bought for 180 million or so. Like, there's never been this level of takeover. So
Don't you guys think that if the trajectory carries on the way it's going, as in we're getting worse and worse season by season, surely the valuation's gonna lower as well? And if there's any time to get Spurs or sell Spurs,
It's just whether or
surely
not
it's now.
Levy would sell it for a lower number. We know how cheap he is, right? So he's going to try
that's
to
where,
get you.
that's where the fans have to impact it, because we're
That's it.
the ones
Yeah,
driving the
yeah.
revenues, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
and that's
exactly.
where the valuation is going to come from when somebody comes in here and appraises the club. It's like, okay, well, how much do you make times a certain amount? I mean, I'm oversimplifying the process, but yeah, absolutely, that's where we have to hit them.
I have to read something out because someone has just sent me a WhatsApp message. Has anyone seen? This is from Tottenham on Let Us Entertain You for their actual activities for the pre-match and during the game of the Wolves game the Aston Villa. Get to your seat early as we bring you a full 90-minute program of pre-match entertainment in the bowl. From 16:30, there will be a live DJ set with a matchday playlist to build up the atmosphere at kickoff. From 17:15, you'll be able to watch our popular N17 live broadcast on our big screens, bringing you all the build-up in company of some special guests. This special edition will also reveal one Hotspur Player of the season, Junior Player of the Season, Official Supporters Club Player of the Season, and our Goal of the Season, as by voted you, the fans. Players to show their appreciation after the final whistle. As a tradition for our last home game of the season, the team and coaching staff will show the appreciation for the incredible support for a challenging time for us all.
That's going to be fun.
I mean,
Brilliant.
we've got a live DJ, guys. A live DJ and free food.
Brilliant.
Well, the protesters need to
Free
get out there. They
food.
can have a battle, right? It can be like, protesters versus the regular fans.
All that for the price of £60.
Yeah.
Good old street battle.
That live DJ set best be playing the remix version of "I Can See You, You Can See
You
Me."
can't say, yeah. I can
Oh, that
see
should be the
you.
playlist. That's the playlist. But
Feed me! You fool cunt! I can see you! Feed me! You fool cunt! I can see you!
Sorry,
You
you
can
kid.
see me!
Yeah, it's fine.
He's
Sorry,
hurting for
sorry,
it.
Ed Kid. Ed Kid. Apologies. No. on Will's behalf. Do you think there's a chance of trouble between inners and ENICOUTers at the protest?
No.
No.
They'll be
What,
socially
you think
distanced.
I don't think the
people-
Levy inners have the guts to come
They
out
don't
there
have balls
and
in the first place if they're leaving.
confront somebody. To be honest with you,
I'd be more worried about people showing up who have no vested interest in the cause or in the protest and showing up
we
just to
spoke about
create
that earlier.
havoc.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
more likely, probably.
Yeah.
Jolly day out. Jolly day out. Let's get the troublemakers together. Absolutely, we discussed that earlier, didn't we? And that's I kind of lost in translation what I was trying to say. The people who aren't protesting got nothing to do there. What are you laughing at, Brian?
Nothing. I'm just laughing at what you said, but I've also realised I went off when we went off air. I remembered his name. It's Dante Hawkins.
Right, Tonto. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, if Dante Hawkins turns up at this protest, they may take a vicious turn.
Yeah, I think that's kind of expected.
But apparently he's now. I was just watching the show on him. He's a reformed character, like legit.
Okay.
So if he is there, I'm sure he'll be on his best behaviour.
I'm just looking forward to it. I'm just looking forward to it. I'm just interested to see how many people turn up, how many people are going to turn up for picnics, and just see what the drive is. I mean, I think Cody, you mentioned, didn't you? It's not a pissing contest, mate. It's not a case of our protest should be any bigger or better than Man United's or anything like that. And unfortunately, some people are seeing it that way.
Yeah, I mean, so some people are going to look at what we do on the weekend and say, well, we don't, if we don't break into the stadium, if we don't go to the next level, if we don't have as many people, but that's not why you protest. It's not a protesters' cup going on, right? You're not going to protest so that you can say, we protested harder than you. No, you protest because you're pissed off with what's going on. You protest because of what's gone on here in the last 2 years. You've protested over what's going on over the last 20 years. You protest because you want to have a say in what happens over the next 20 years, right? Exactly. It's not so that you can win the protesters' cup.
Yeah, I don't think there's a protesters' cup there, but I do worry that the apathy from typical apathy from Spurs fans will mean that the protest won't be as powerful as it needs to be, or as powerful as some of the other teams' protests were. It's not a comparison. It's that it just because of what we've seen from Spurs fans in the past, and recent past anyway, has been a lack of that intensity, a lack of that many people showing up and getting behind it. So I worry about that. For me, it's not a competition. It's just more of, are we gonna do it properly this time? Are we gonna step up and do it? So that's where I would sit on that.
We're not a point of reference, are we? When they talk about the protests, we talk about the Chelsea protests. So it's a couple of times they never mention. And when Spurs protest as well, it doesn't come up in conversation. Hopefully Saturday.
I just want to see a statement, man. I want to see people come out and fucking make a statement, because it's necessary at this point, massively.
Are you guys surprised ENIC haven't come back with a reply?
A reply on what though?
From after trust
the trust reply
the trust reply or response.
I haven't read the trust reply. Like, what was their main points? I haven't read that yet. That just came out earlier today, right?
They basically said the same thing we said when it comes to, like, it's a hollow, too late, too little, too late scenario, and you need to
go fuck yourself.
Yeah, basically. Like, this doesn't change what you did. You can't just.
I apologize for Bob. You can.
That's fine. This is the good part of football.
I'm just teasing him because he was giving me crap earlier.
I got to step away for a second, lads. I'll be back.
All right. But so basically, I mean, they were just saying that they didn't make any specific points, like, who
the trust?
Yeah.
No, they were very specific, mate. They were very on point. They were very passionate. I think they literally spoke. Brian, you liked it as well, didn't you, mate? It was in not so many words. It was go and fuck yourself. Go and stick your apology up your ass. And we still want a meeting. They obviously reiterated the fact that they lied about not having any sort of conversation with regards to the ESL, then suddenly coming out of the blue. Quite clearly, it was a lie. The fact that ENIC had mentioned that the success on the pitch is at the forefront of the mindset, which was a load of crap, and and they failed to acknowledge that for 20 years they've had. They've been big supporters of it, and again, so they poo-pooed over everything that ENIC had put out. There were no loopholes. No loopholes. Will, it was very adamant in what they put down, very clear and precise. And I thought, hands down, it was the best statement they've ever put out.
Oh, without a doubt, it was the best. Without a shadow of a doubt, it was the best. And I think this statement had to be the best. It had to be very, it had to be very, very direct and to the point, because that could have sent people over the edge, and it could have been like people were saying, like, if it's a yes, all is forgiven, people would have pulled out the Tottenham Hotspur Supporters Trust.
Yeah,
they would have literally pulled out. It's got to the point where they had to deliver the right message, and I mean, it got so petty that Tottenham actually came out and tried to take the piss out of and blame everything on the Supporters Trust. I mean, how childish. How childish can you be? You're a multi-billion-pound organisation. You're a multi-billion-pound football club, and you're playing blooming. I'm bigger than you. I'm better than you. I'm badder than you. No, and the Supporters Trust have distanced themselves from that, and fair play to them. It was a very, very good statement.
Good statement. Good statement. But before we move any further, we've got.
Where's the lullaby gone?
It's a different one every time, man.
That was quick, Will. That was quick. I literally just came on and bosh, I'm here. Appreciate it, man. Pleasure to be on.
How did the hunting go?
No, I was about to say.
Oh, do you know what I was doing? Look, we've got quite a few streamers with flat caps. What's going on with the flat caps? Why are they all grey?
I just ordered one on Amazon yesterday after David's stream.
I was actually about to say, as Tommy just come back from filming the new series of Peaky Blinders.
That's it.
I was gonna do the sideways. I was gonna do the sideways, but I can't with the headphones, can I? Ridiculous. I'm not happy about that. But I've been listening. I've been listening vigorously, and I just want to say, someone in the chat mentioned it. Like, are they going to be pro protesters? Are they going to be pro protesters? Do you reckon? Saturday?
Anti-protesters?
Yeah, pro Levy protesters.
Oh, maybe all three of them will turn up. Who knows?
Yeah.
It'll just be Daniel Levy in a wig.
Yeah.
Oh, leave Levy alone. He'll have a Dele Alli wig, you know what I mean?
And Hitchin.
Yeah. No, I don't think so, Tom. I think some people might turn up with the intent to protest against the protesters, and probably realise that they're probably outnumbered and think, fuck it, let's just join in.
I mean, to be a part of Levy's crew, do you have to be like bald and face hairless? Like, is that like a prerequisite?
Got a few of them on this stream at the moment.
No, I got a beard.
You got beards, man. Come on,
we're
now.
bald of beard, but
all right.
I have to shave my beard. If I shave my beard, I probably look like Steve Hitchin, to be honest with you.
No. Yeah, so there might be some anti-protesters, mate, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere. And if they are, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Bob is Val.
Is anyone? Sorry. Oops.
You're on the Supporters Trust.
I am. Yes, I am indeed. I've had fuck all correspondence from them so far, apart from cheers for your money. Here's a receipt. Apart from that, I obviously had the tweet come through and an email come through about the statements, but let's see. Like, right time to. Is you guys internationally based? Can you get on? Can you become part of the trust? Or?
Yeah,
that's right. Someone asked me that question yesterday in the stream, and I was like, I have no idea.
Yeah, we
I
can.
have no idea. Okay.
We can do.
No,
one thing
Ollie,
I would
it's a
say.
serious question. Ollie's calling me out on my title, saying it's clickbait.
What
That's
I
what
was
we've been talking about the whole time.
What I was looking forward to at one point is they said as well that I think when Ben and Sim were doing their show, they said like they're going to go look at organisations like official supporters clubs from around the world to see who's going to join the board. Well, I'm on the board of Toronto Spurs. Can you imagine if they come to Toronto Spurs and they're like, yeah, well, we need a board member from your club to represent. I'll be like, hello, this is all mine. Move out the way. This is taken.
Isn't that
What
a
are your
basketball
credentials?
team? Isn't Toronto Spurs a basketball team?
No, that's the San Antonio Spurs.
Right, okay.
We're the Raptors
I'm
here.
getting
We're
there.
the Raptors.
I'm getting there. Talking about that, what about the NFL? This NFL rubbish that's happening next year.
We need to
Two
vote.
games
We
in the
need to
summer.
protest. We need to protest.
Yeah.
At those
absolutely. I think
games,
that's
more
key.
importantly.
I think that's key. I think that's absolutely key.
That's where that's because they're just
Okay, Holly, I was just teasing you.
we had a.
Bob, why
I
is
had a
Holly
lovely-
not in your group there on Twitter? You need to put Holly in the group on Twitter.
Okay.
Too many dudes in there.
Okay, I will do. I don't think I can. I don't think I can DM her. I don't think we follow each other. Yeah. I don't think I'm important enough to be in Holly's gang at the moment. So we'll
get her in there. We'll get her in there.
We'll get definitely in there. Definitely in there. I had another lovely comment come from your fan, Will, and yours, Cody. Mr. How do I put this? Mr. Daft Fuck, if you know who I mean.
Yep.
Oh, what did he say? I blocked him, so I don't see his stuff.
Yeah, no, just the usual. I see you've not adhered to my. I think you used the word adhered to my requests of not having these foreign so-called people on. I just think someone needs to just give them a hug.
I think we just need to block him.
Yeah, or just get him on the show with me.
I've invited him on, but I don't think he's got the balls. I don't think he got the balls.
No chance.
Keyboard warrior.
Yeah.
Or as I call them, pussies behind the screen.
Yes.
Has anybody got a pro Levy on?
I'm looking for one, mate.
I think Johnny said. Didn't Johnny say the other day, Brian, that he's got one? I'm pretty sure he's got one either tonight or tomorrow.
I think he does. Funny enough, in my friends group and everything, I don't have one Levy in her. Or Enoch in her.
I actually have a few friends, believe it or not. They're difficult. They're difficult to.
I don't believe you have a few friends.
No.
It's easier to find. It's easier to find a 5-legged unicorn than someone that will come up on a stream pro Levy. But they are out there. They are out there. I don't want to say pro Levy, but they haven't yet tilted. They haven't yet tilted to the protest avenue, if you like. So
I think there are a few within the YouTube family, and Brian probably knows who I'm on about, who haven't decided one way or are incapable of deciding which way they wanna go. I'm not going to mention any names, but I think there's a few out there just want to keep the peace. You know what I mean, don't you, Brian?
Of course.
Are you firing shots there? Bob?
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
If the person out there.
Oh, I know one of them now. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah.
I don't. I've missed it.
I know one of them now.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You guys will tell me backstage.
Yes, of course.
I think I know one of them is.
The Twitter fam.
Kid, are you Enoch?
Oh no way.
Ow.
He's been raised well.
Get out of my
He's
club.
been raised well. Do you get any shit?
Well, check the private comments.
Don't say any bad words, though, you kid. Hearing them is okay. I don't want to hear you say them.
Yes.
It's the good part of football.
Yeah. That's good.
Is there another one? I only see that one. Is there another one?
Well, that's not because everyone's now thinking, "Oh, is it me? Is it me? Is it me in the group?"
No.
Is it me?
That's not,
Is it me? It's me. It's me.
Yeah. I'm Spartacus. Why Tottenham, you kid? I'm sorry. You guys probably know already.
Yeah, if you were able to get here a little earlier, you would have saw that, Bobby.
All right, mate. All right. I've got kids. I was watching the very intelligent program by the name of Bar Rescue. I don't know if you ever watched it.
Oh, mate,
wicked.
mate.
Fucking brilliant.
John Taffer is my guy.
You've been talking about him for a while, Brian.
Mate, John Taffer.
Fucking
honestly,
psycho.
Oh, mate, I love that dude. I actually talked to him on Twitter. He's actually very responsive. He's anyone that doesn't watch Raw Best. Oh, mate, Bar Rescue is fucking the nuts.
Bar Rescue.
What is this?
Mate.
What is this?
So Bar Rescue, John Taffer, basically. No, it's now. He's been doing it for a few years. John Taffer.
Is it Gordon Ramsay in it?
Yeah, but he goes to extremes. He's basically the biggest nightclub and bar agent you could find to just redo bars and turn them from like really in the shit
I see.
to incredible. So he goes into a bar, he has his spice and everything, sees what's wrong with them, absolutely tears the owners a new one, and then remodels their bar and leaves. But it is just absolutely phenomenal. It's the best show.
It's like Kitchen Nightmares, basically, but
better,
Yeah.
a million times better.
Thanks, AG, for
Currently
the comments and the
available on
watch
Prime Video.
and for being one of our Patreons. I appreciate
Bobby,
it.
I didn't know you're a fan, mate.
Oh, what?
Bar Rescue, I didn't know you're a fan. It's the best.
Get him on,
Mate,
Brian.
I love it. Well, I actually feel guilty not watching it now, but I
Who's he
think
support?
friends are more
The
important.
big question is, who does he
But
support?
they were. I was American. They don't know anything about football.
hey,
Nothing.
Good.
Wait, when did they do like the seventh inning stretch in a football match? And I always forget, like, when do they sing, like, you know,
When
do
they have the
stand up and
15-minute
sing songs?
interval.
when does the Mexican
the
wave
15-minute
happen? Is the
interval.
biggest question.
Yeah, why
When
don't
does the
you guys
first-
do the wave?
When does the first quarter end?
Yeah. Hey, every chance. Do you still get shit about? I know Daft Fuck was.
I've embraced it, so I'm making jokes now. I'm doing it on purpose before they can joke it. You gotta let me know when you're gonna do that fucking wrong one. But no, I'm embracing it now, so that's why I'm throwing the jokes out there and doing it on purpose,
Yeah.
so to disarm them.
Yeah.
Right. If I'm being intentionally making fun of Americans who follow football in a comedic way myself, it disarms them from being having any power. So
I think we're all new to
Cody,
this.
you're
We're all pretty new to this, so you just get used to it. And you're like, oh, fuck, who gives a shit about these guys? Don't even retaliate. Don't even retaliate. I know you
they
enjoy
come
it,
out of the
Bob, 'cause it
woodwork
is-
every time.
But you'll
Yeah,
get
no,
used to it because there's gonna be more and more as we progress. So retaliation, exactly what they want. It's exactly what they want. So
Yeah, but when you're bored, it's brilliant. I mean, Cody's going big time. He's going to get a load of shit now.
He's already getting. I was surprised, man. One
Mate,
or two
that's it.
videos, and it's already starting to come out. And everybody's like, "Cody's the nice one, right?" Like I was.
Are you,
the one that was getting all the
getting
heat.
shit, Cody? Are you
Yeah.
getting shit already, Cody?
I don't know. I don't really care. I don't want to empower these people by dignifying them with a response. You know,
No,
like
exactly.
the
I
thing
mean,
is,
even that.
you could respond with them. It's just you're just gonna go down a rabbit hole. It's a complete waste of time. The thing that they hate more than anything is when they get ignored.
Ignorance.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. But for me, it's just fun for me. It's
Yeah, no, I
not a
love it.
waste
I
of my
love-
time if I enjoy it. And then what I like to do is I like to get them all wound up and then block them. So it's like they get all hyped and then it dies.
Yeah.
My response to Daft Fuck after that last one, I see you've not adhered or what. My response was, please like and subscribe. And I just left it at that. So
I love that.
that's
Please
what-
adhere to. You haven't adhered. What is this? Some
Yeah.
kind of ransom?
Oh mate, it's just I don't know. He's going to be there at the protests apparently, so that'll be
Find him.
good to see him. Yeah, I'll
Box
go
him out.
over and
Box his ears.
Cody and Will, what do
You
you?
need to go with a leave it out banner on one, and then turn it around and go, "Who is Daft Fuck?"
We can have a chat. We can have a chat over a beer. But I've got a funny feeling he won't be let in the pub. I've got a funny feeling he's like 8, 9, maybe 10 at tops.
Well, no,
So,
he was calling all of us like Gen Xers and Gen.
Yeah.
You know, so he's probably some old dude. But his picture is like of a 30-year-old man, which is weird.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't
No,
really
close
see
up.
much there, can you?
Close up, out of focus. So yeah, I got my poster ready.
Go on, Ollie.
Go on, Ollie.
Cody, I've just checked again. I just wanted to see that number of your last, the famous Lo Celso one. You're up to 3,696 likes. That's
Yeah,
insane.
it's funny
Basing your
because
success on somebody else's downfall. Well done, Cody. Well done.
He's the good guy in the rom com that you know.
that tweet's been seen by 495,000 people now.
Wicked.
Jesus Christ.
I feel
Wicked.
bad because like it spawned like I'm thinking like okay like maybe 10 people will like this and then all of a sudden like my phone is just completely blown up And
Well,
like so many people are just like ragging on Lo Celso. And I'm like, I kind of like Lo Celso, but this was just a funny, stupid play that kind of summed up the whole game, maybe the whole season for us. You know, he just
You've had
runs
like
the
2 or
ball
3
out of
viral
bounds.
tweets in the last 2 weeks, though.
Yeah,
What was
there
the one
the
before
about,
that? The guy in prison.
Yeah, but I don't know. People just like stupid shit, so just post stupid shit, and you'll get attention.
Next time, throw a link at the bottom of it.
I think people are on the fence. People are on the fence about. I'm not sure about Lo Celso. Your clip came out. They're like, right, fucking hate him.
Cody, you set the standard though now.
His
You've had
form's dropped
two, like,
since then
up
as
to
well. I
2000.
think Lo Celso's seen the tweet.
Oh, he's been
Oh, he's
shocking, hasn't he?
It's affected his
he
performance
Real
on the pitch.
shocking. Yeah, he's been awful.
Yeah. Well
If
done,
500,000
Cody. Well
people
done,
have
Cody.
seen it, it's probably pretty
Making
pretty hard for
Spurs
him
worse
not
than they
to.
already are.
Can I ask? Has anyone discussed the game?
What game?
Upcoming game.
There's a game.
Today?
There's a
No.
game
Exactly.
today.
Who's playing?
No.
Oh,
Well,
I'm doing a
no.
preview tomorrow. I'm doing a preview with a couple
Oh, yeah.
of Wolves
We're
fans
doing one of
tomorrow.
the two Bryans tomorrow night as well.
Is anyone bothered?
No,
I just
could give two shits really.
We'll be
Oh, that's
doing our
okay.
pre and post match rant shows as always.
We need 3 points. We need 3 points, man. I don't want to finish below Arsenal. I don't care about it, whether we finish, Europa Conference or Europa or whatever. I don't want to finish below Arsenal. I don't
gonna
care
happen.
what anybody says.
St.
That
Tottenham's
would be
is
like
going to be back.
that would be
Better not be back.
way below anything that I could possibly take more. It's just I've reached my fucking limit. I cannot take any more of this right now. If we finish below Arsenal, that's it. No more
We
jerseys.
finished. It's
Why?
fair to say we finished below Arsenal for a fair amount of time during my lifetime.
Did you know?
It's
Did you know that
being behind
Arsenal-
West Ham. It's being below West Ham that's going to kill
Oh.
me.
I don't
That's
really care
almost
about that
inevitable.
too much.
That's
It's an
inevitable.
anomaly. It's an
Pretty
anomaly
much
this time.
inevitable. But
Guys,
it's an anomaly. But they started spending money over the last few seasons, and they probably will again this summer. So I'm not so sure. They got some good players.
Yeah.
On that
it's
note,
an
I've just
anomaly.
got two
They'll
things
finish
to
like
say.
10th next season.
I've got two things to say because I'm going to have to jump off because, like I said on the May the 4th show, and I will always be open about this, I've actually got a counselling session in 3 minutes, so I've got to
Wicked.
go to that. So I'm going to quickly shoot off. But Bob,
Cheers,
in
Brad.
answer to your question, as I've said for a long time now, I don't care what goes on the pitch. All I care about right now is what goes on off it. That's all that matters. But I will be making appearances on your ranch shows. I guess it'll be Saturday night and Sunday night, yeah?
Yes, sir. Pre and
I'll
post
probably,
match.
I'll probably
I
be there
guarantee I'm
Sunday as
there.
well.
Guys, love you all. Yid Kid, I'll see you later on.
Tune into the two Bryans on tomorrow night. The music.
Stop flipping scenes. I did that on purpose.
Your production's
I'm gonna log your out.
Been a huge mistake.
it's glitchy. Oh man, this is quality content.
Someone tuning in now, Will, is thinking, what a load of fucking crap's this?
I don't know. Cody's jacking it up.
Yeah. Fucking amateurs.
Hey, Will and Cody, what are you guys doing for the protest tomorrow or for Saturday?
I'm watching.
Are you going to be doing a stream at all, or?
Yeah, we're gonna be streaming. I'm gonna try to find somebody if anybody's there who's doing a thread that wants us to multicast or show updates at least on their content.
Because we were going to be doing a live stream, but then we also got Stell's going to go down there with his phone and sort of do some shooting. So maybe I thought maybe us folks in the East Coast, because it's a really early morning. I'm not up that early, but I don't know if one of you guys wants to hop in with us and help us out. But
just send links
just
out.
put it out there. Just put it out.
Just
Just put it out there. See what people.
Just put the links out because I know what Simon's doing from Premier.
I'll try and
Hotspur.
do something.
Yeah,
Are you going to be at the
Simon,
protest, Tommy, or no?
Yeah, man. It was just the 15th. I think I might do the 16th as well. The fact that it's 10 a.m. So
Simon's not going, and then basically all he's doing is making a link and he's just sending it out there. And he goes, "I'm going to be live whenever you got time. Just pop on, give us 10 minutes, and see you later."
Yeah,
So it's just sending a link out to everyone, which I think
you
is
just have to have somebody who's able to kind of run it a little bit. Is the
right.
Yeah.
I'm going on eBay now, and I'm ordering my pitchfork. There you go.
sorry.
Danny, Val wants you to say something.
Not really much to say. ENICOUT.
He's just hanging out. He's just hanging out.
He's hanging out, Val. We always let him. Val's always concerned when
Just chilling with the lads.
Val's always concerned if everyone on the panel doesn't speak equally. So
I see a Juve shirt. I see a Juventus shirt up there. What's that about, you kid?
he got signed.
Oh, signed by Paulo Dybala. I probably should have
really?
I probably should have gave him a contract for Tottenham and said he was an autograph so he could have signed it and came to Tottenham. But
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
it's actually Joao Cancelo and Paulo Dybala when they were back at Juve.
Oh, yeah,
I found them in an airport on Leauge, and I got a picture and took an autograph.
Nice.
Oh, that's mad, man. That's mad.
So you should have just got him over to Spurs if possible. Do you guys think Levy's a
definitely
good businessman? Honestly,
He's
No,
good with,
I don't.
he's a good property manager, businessman, but he's not a good football manager, businessman. He's failing
Well, you
miserably with
can't-
the most important product, which is the team.
A businessman's a businessman, surely.
Is it though? Like, don't you have to be an
Yeah,
expert?
no,
in certain things
I
to
don't
be
think
good
that
at those things?
buying right, the things that he's doing is actually fairly shallow, right? Like
Hmm.
any person who had money who's sitting in a position of power could be like, we need to grow our customer base, which is our fan base. We need to build a new facility. I mean, those are easy things to do
Exactly.
to grow a business.
Easy and obvious, yeah.
Yeah.
Then why can't
It's-
everybody do it?
The nuanced. Well, if you have the those are all things. That
It's
if you
all
have
about
the
backing
capital,
at that point.
it's done.
Money. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all
Right.
about money.
Well, listen.
Well,
They
That's
bought
the easy
this
part.
club for 23 million, and they've increased its value 74 times over. So I don't think there's any denying that he does have a brilliant business mind. He just doesn't have a brilliant football mind.
but how about keeping the customers happy? If you're a businessman, you know the most important within that, the people who are going to bring in the revenue. I know this is all bullshit to an extent, but your customers keep your customers happy, keep customer satisfaction.
But their money. It's their money at the end of the day. Their money.
Exactly. You know,
So-
retention, customer retention. Well, there'll always be customer retention within the fan base. But why invest?
The
in a
money's still
football
coming
club
in.
if you're not-
The money's still.
Yeah, I know,
It's up to
mate,
us,
I know.
right? Okay, so now we're
Maybe
at a
I'm-
tipping point. We can say that, right?
Yeah.
We're at a bit of a tipping point. But generally, up until this point, Levy's done quite well as a businessman. The money has always come in. He's been able to move the club forward. He's brought us to a new level. We've been a more competitive club in the last 10 years than we had in the 10 years before ENIC took over, right? Look at our average league place in the 90s. Yeah, there have been
Champions
mistakes,
League
that's
football.
for sure.
Yeah.
But he's been miserly. He's been thrifty. You know, there's definitely not been the kind of investment that fans, and I think now that we're kind of cross-examining the last 20 years, we're all starting to see where the direction of the club has truly been going with the unmasking of them in terms of the Super League. But no, there's no denying. Just look at the numbers. Just based on the numbers, Levy is excellent. He's an excellent businessman.
And do you think the ENIC inners look at that and argue that point? And
100% they
justify
do.
Yeah,
justify
yeah,
it?
for sure.
Yeah,
That's the only point they have to argue.
But
Yeah.
the thing
yeah.
is,
And they've got a point. They've got a point there, haven't they? In a
they
way.
do.
It is a
But I'm
rather
saying those are
big point.
easy- those are
It is a
easy
rather
things to
big
do.
point, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big point, but the success on the pitch is not there. And, one trophy in those 20 years is not. It's not.
But
That's
the
the
question
issue.
is not about trophies; it's about
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, exactly. So they're being good at that, but not good at football. So I agree with you,
Tottenham,
Cody.
Tottenham
100%.
are one of the biggest football brands in world football now. It
Okay,
wasn't
so
like that.
how
Ridiculous
you
at
see?
the moment.
I disagree, though. I don't think that they're good at business
Yeah.
because now that they've built the stadium, they've built the training ground, right? And they've scaled to their max on the easy improvements, right? They've scaled to their max on the easy improvements. Now is when you can see if they're a good business person or not, because there's, unless it's to go buy another club, right? If you look at people who are a successful brand, to be a good business person isn't just about dumping as many products in your store as possible to try to, create volume and be stuck with a bunch of inventory. I mean, that's really kind of what they've done is they've just loaded all of these property assets to the company in order to raise the value. But really the product, which is the football on the pitch, is getting worse, not better.
Yeah, and that's
They're just
where
putting
the
more
failure,
products
where
on the
failure
shelf
is. Yeah.
instead of making a good product.
Okay, well,
But-
let's say I said, okay, if you gave me $10,000 today, and I promised you $740,000 in 20 years, would you take that deal?
Yeah, but what
Yeah.
I'm saying is the easy improvements are done now. And so now we get to see if Daniel Levy's a real
How do they
business
kick off?
person or not.
Yeah.
Why
How
are
they
those
kick off?
improvements easy?
Because it's just about putting the cash out there. If you build it, they will come, right? Like when you buy a stadium that's worth $1 billion, that immediately increases the evaluation of the company because you have that asset, right? There's assets and then there's earnings.
Yes, but
Right.
but that's why isn't every football club doing that then?
Because they don't have the cash.
We didn't have the cash; we borrowed it.
Yep.
Good
Okay.
investment.
Why were we in
You
a
have to
position to
have-
borrow
you
that
have
much
to have-
cash?
Because you have
But-
to have the
but-
backing to do it.
But like Will says, we're at that wall now, aren't we, mate? You know, how do we kick on from here? The revenue is going to come in. Of course, we know that. Match days, we're going to be bringing, you know, 8 or a million in per game. Obviously, we've got NFL, so the revenue is going to be generated. But how do you kick on from here? We've got a lovely stadium, we've got a lovely revenue generator, but
It's got to be
invest
team
in the
investment.
football club,
Has to
yeah,
be.
you invest in a football club. Surely,
we won
you
more
need to invest in
trophies-
the football team.
Had we won more
The question
trophies-
was:
had we
is
won more
Daniel Levy
trophies-
good at business? He's bought
Yeah.
something
Yeah,
for $23
absolutely.
million. He's turned it into
Absolutely.
a $2 billion
There's no-
enterprise. That's good business. I don't care how you want to chop
Good
it
business,
up.
but I wouldn't say he's a
magnificent.
good
Forget the
businessman.
trophies. Forget
made money.
Forget the
That's-
football
No,
club.
no.
Forget all
that's
that. You asked him if he was a good businessman.
Okay.
He's a good businessman.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
in my
He
opinion, I'll
did
tell you
good
why it's
business.
not. Yeah.
He's not a good businessman.
The reason why I think he's not a good businessman, because he's made great money. No one's denying he's made great profit, but he's had the opportunity to make more.
Yes.
He's had the opportunity
Yes.
over and over again to
Yes.
take the team further. We were one step away from challenging for the Premier League. We're now 3 steps behind, even 4 steps behind from finishing in the top 4. And that's a bad businessman who couldn't see that and couldn't invest in because that
Yeah.
revenue could have been more. It should have been more.
The reality
So-
is, cups bring fans in as well internationally. Trophies bring fans in internationally. Look at the Man City fans popping up around the world. You can't say Man City fans are Man City fans because what happened in the 80s and 90s. They're Man City fans because what
Yeah, it's all the
they've
last
been winning
5
winners.
years.
over the
They're
last
winners.
10 years. So that 2 billion could have been closer to 2.5 billion. There's no denying that it's sensational what he's done business wise, but it could be better. It could be better had he invested in the team.
When you buy the shambles of what Tottenham Hotspur was at 20 million pounds, so it'd be like 38 million pounds today.
Yeah.
It's easy to improve that, right? If I go buy as long as the guts of their house are good, if I go buy an old crack house downtown and then, throw in, an extra, $10,000 to refurbish it, and then I go and sell it for, 10 times what I bought it for, that's smart, but you're just a house flipper then. You're not really a smart business person. It doesn't take, you just have to have the money to do it, right? You have to have the money to go buy the crack house that's run down, throw in the 10 grand to renovate it, and then flip the house.
Okay, Code. I'll take your example. I'll
give talking about.
No, I'll give you £10,000. You're right, yeah. And you said if I managed to turn that into 750, as an example, you give me £10,000, and in 20 years I'll turn it into £750,000. Would you accept it? Yeah. But if I said to you, I'll do that for you, but then you got your project. What you could have made is $1 million plus. Does that make me a bad businessman, or does that? Do you just say, right? We could have actually made a lot more. How does that reflect in my business? I'm not taking
I think it means
advantage.
you're still a
because
good
he's not the
businessman,
greatest
but not a-
businessman in history.
but
Because
not
he's
a
not
great
the
businessman.
greatest, that means he's bad. There's so many. Look at some of the clubs, the trajectories that they've gone under.
Look
in
at the
last
other
20
clubs
years.
that they
Some of
ran into the
clubs that were
ground.
in the Premier League. Look at the clubs that were in the Premier League when ENICOUT took over. Some of those clubs aren't even in the Championship now, right?
Yeah,
So-
you're right. Yeah.
Right, but look at the clubs they ran into the ground.
You guys are getting all
Yeah.
worked up about process, right? It doesn't matter how you get there, right? The result is he bought this asset for 23 million. It's now worth 2.3 billion or whatever it is. That is good business. That is good
Yeah,
business.
That's the evaluation
It's
of the company
fantastic
pushed
business.
forward. We don't know that that's the exact valuation of the club either, especially today.
All I'm saying is it's a shame he didn't have the business acumen to see the chances he had to progress on the pitch and without doubt bring in more revenue that way.
Exactly. To spend money, to make money, you've got to spend money. And he missed out the 5-10 millions in Grealish. The 5-10
No,
million
to
in
win
Tony.
trophies, you have to spend money.
But win trophies means you make more money, and that's the point. So if he's
To make
failed
money,
at
you do have
that
to spend
on
money.
a number
Well,
of
then why are
occasions,
Barca and Real Madrid completely fucking broke? They win
Well,
tons
that's-
of trophies.
Spain,
because they
Spain is a
spend
completely
way
different
more
ball of
money.
wax.
Yeah,
That's
They're only
loads
broke
different,
now.
man.
They've won
Are they?
trophies.
But are they better business people than Daniel Levy?
And they haven't won in anything
No.
really internationally for what, almost 5 years now, right? Remember,
But
Madrid
if
was
you're
the last
looking,
one
if
to
you're
win
looking
it.
at a 20-year sample, right? Look at all the trophies that Barca and Real and Juventus have piled up, and they're in fucking trouble. That's why the whole Super League thing happened, right?
Yeah, but they
the
make
money-
way more money than we do. Their clubs are worth way more than ours.
Yeah, they're way bigger clubs too.
But are they in better financial stead?
They
Probably
won
not, though.
trophies.
How are that? What does that have to do with what it is?
The question is about business.
Are we financially
Are they in
sound?
better?
No,
Are
we're
they in a
in
better
debt.
financial?
We're in
huge.
debt code, aren't we?
Bloobs of debt over our eyeballs. We are in far more debt than they are.
I'm sorry, but don't we make more money per year than any other Premier League club?
We
Well, I know
clear
what you're saying,
Our
Code.
profits,
I
our
don't-
net profits are higher.
Code, there's no one
Because we're not
denying that we've
spending
made
it.
profit. No one's denying. But for me, a good businessman
Our revenue's
of,
not
of,
higher.
is the chances to bring in so much more revenue, to make the team better, to make to make us better on the pitch, which would have led to more cup finals, Champions League final. Who knows? The Premier League. We were two players away. Six, 7 years ago from being a genuine title contender. And who knows?
There's a reason.
what
There's a
would
reason
happen.
why Daniel
And he
Levy
did take
wants
advantage of it.
profit. The reason why our club has the most profit, which means clearing, right? What they take home is because they get that as a dividend at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Right. So the more profit, the less the company spends. Right. So Amazon every year has zero profit. They make no profit. Why? Because they don't want to pay taxes. They take all of their profit and they reinvest it back into the business, so that at the end of the year the books are even and they don't have to pay any corporate tax, which is like 28-30%. Right.
No
Problem is
taxes, yeah.
Daniel Levy has the most profit because instead of investing it back into the team, he's shoving it in his own pocket.
Pocket, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh,
You're not
no,
going to
it-
convince me
it-
that he's
it-
a bad businessman.
I'm
You're
not
not
saying
gonna
he's a
convince me
bad
of that.
businessman.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's a
But
good
that was the original
businessman.
question.
He's just a businessman.
Oh,
No. I asked if he was a good businessman. In my eyes, he's not that good.
I think he has parts of
You-
business he does well and parts he
He's a
doesn't.
good football club owner.
He just didn't take advantage. As a businessman, he didn't take advantage of the fact there was a chance to invest in the team and bring in loads more revenue, loads more.
I disagree. I
well,
disagree. I think it's this because at that time when they bought Tottenham, ENIC bought bigger shares in like 5 or 6 other teams.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not like they were doing it because Tottenham's special. They were just buying struggling teams.
Trying to figure out where they could make the money. Yeah.
Then
but the
they
opportunity arose, didn't
decided
it,
to,
Will?
yeah, because then they decided after being there and being in London, and after what was it in 2000, I want to say 2003 or 2011 or 2007 is when they sold a lot of their controlling interest in Rangers and Zagreb and stuff like that, and tried to put all their eggs into one basket simply because they saw Tottenham as having the most potential.
Yeah.
Okay, so you think that Daniel Levy should have invested more in the squad when he had the chance to get to the next level? I can agree with that. But you also say that the likes of Real and Barca and Juventus, who are in financial trouble, according to multiple reports, they just spent too much. Like, where do you draw the line? How do you know where to cut it off? You know, like, how do you know how to spend just enough to make trophies so that you make the maximum amount?
Well, yeah, like you
know what I mean?
you don't spend like you don't spend 200 million euros on Neymar.
You don't
You
hire
get a good
Hittens
scouting
as
system
your
in place. You get
you
a
don't
good
hire
scouting
Hittens,
system in place
yeah.
as well. Because if you have a scouting system that tells you that you shouldn't have spent the extra £5 million on Grealish, now he's worth over £100 million.
Exactly.
I mean,
or
Use
Bruno
Grealish, for
Fernandes
example.
or
Bruno
Dybala.
Fernandes. These are all bad business decisions, aren't they?
Yeah, but
There's
talking
no
about
going-
fees. There's
there's
fees
no
in
going
the
to
chat.
from our-
examples of that. If you're going to
I-
get
I-
into the micro decisions like that, look at what we bought Sonny
but
for.
it's
30
happening
million.
regularly.
We could
It's
sell
happening
Sonny
regularly. The last
for-
3 years.
It's not
Skriniar,
about
Harry
Ruben
Kane.
Diaz,
You know what I
Ruben
mean? Like, if you're
Diaz.
going to
There's
break
so
it down,
many.
if you're going to break it down into every little decision, then sure, you can pick out tons. You could look at every single club and look at the mistakes that have been made, right? You could do that. You could micro every single club that way. But if you're talking just in generalities, right? This club is in a much better position worldwide, globally as a brand, as a valuation than it was when Levy took over. That's it. The numbers don't lie.
Agreed.
You can't.
Of
You
course,
can
of course.
hypothesize as much as you want about how much we could be worth if we had won some trophies. How much we could be worth, but whatever. The facts are
Well,
right
I'm
there.
skeptical. I'm skeptical of the £2 billion evaluation. Right, I would have to see a financial institution actually verify.
Well,
Well, you think it's more or
top
less?
10 from
Less.
Forbes,
or less.
right?
Yeah.
Do you
Same
trust
here.
Forbes? 2.3
No.
billion. That's what Forbes
I don't
says.
trust. I don't trust Forbes.
Well, if you're not going to trust like the utmost source on this type of information, then who will you trust?
Forbes is not enough.
Honest to God.
No. When it comes to evaluations, Forbes.
I don't think anyone.
is
I don't
a-
think you can doubt. I'm
Tell me who
struggling with people
to tell me who to listen to.
doubt he's a good businessman.
You'd have
Alex
to go to like
Gold.
JP Morgan and have an evaluation done. So what they'll do is that you have to, in order to get a true evaluation, you'd have to go to a independent finance company who would look at their P&L and balance sheets, look at their EBITDA, and then they'll calculate based on other companies in that space
And where do you
what the
think, where do you
multiplier
think
would be
Forbes
in
is
that
coming up with
valuation
their numbers?
from Tottenham.
Tottenham's just telling them how much they're worth.
Sure, press release, 100%. If you're out there trying to shop a company around, fluffing the evaluation or boosting the evaluation makes the company look more valuable than it is. It's a press thing, 100%.
Okay,
Companies do it all the time.
How much is a
especially before
stadium
it's out.
worth? Let's do some math. How much is a stadium worth?
$1 billion,
How much is the
So
squad
they
worth?
say
300,000 or 300
How
million.
much is the property
200.
around the stadium worth?
Squad's worth far less than it was when they evaluated that's for sure.
This was in April.
properties are going to rise and decline anyway, especially in today's climate as well. So
Training
I
grounds
don't know,
probably worth about
what
200
was it in
million.
April? Yeah.
Well, regardless, if you want to debate the valuation, that's fine. But there's no denying that we're worth a fuck ton more than 23 million, which is what they bought it for.
Right, but not in quality
yeah.
of the. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Not in the quality of the product, though. Only in,
Oh,
in the look of the store. Right.
Yeah,
So I'm saying if I have my own store, and I buy a new building and I remodel the store, and that store is worth, the property that store sits on is worth, $200 million, right? And then I go to evaluate my company. Yes, that's an asset. So now my company is worth the value, at least of the building. But it doesn't mean that the product that I'm selling in my store is any better than it was the day that I bought it. Right. All I did was just improve the store because I had the cash or the credit to go out and get the loans to do that. I haven't improved the business. I've only falsely inflated the evaluation of my company based on the asset price.
Wouldn't say
But
falsely.
in a way, even if it is falsely, if
Not
they're looking to sell the club, then why not? Do you know
Just
what I
think
mean?
about, think about it from this way, okay? I know we all
Yeah,
want.
if they're a house
we all,
flipper,
we
it's
all
a great
don't want to be
business.
speaking Levy's name right now. It tastes like poison saying it. But he's run this club for 20 years. He's extracted a huge amount of wealth for himself personally. He's extracted a huge amount of wealth for Joe Lewis personally, and he's increased the value of the club 74 times over. I don't care if you're just asking about business. That is excellent. That is excellent. You would take
if you're
that.
a house flipper, it's
Everyone
great.
would take that. But what does it matter to him if we haven't won trophies as long as he's made his money? We're asking
Exactly.
about the business side.
But exactly.
That's
I
the
mean,
big, and that's the point. That's the point.
that's
For
exactly.
me,
And
for me
Cody's-
that's the
Cody's
biggest
100%
shit.
correct.
Shit, very well.
He's 100% correct in that.
No, I'm not. Look,
on that side
I
of
just
things.
think as
He's
a
enriched
business,
himself
It could
beyond
have been
belief
better.
through the ownership of this
It
club.
could have been a lot better.
If they sold
So
today,
do you call people who cut drugs, are they good business people? No, I'm serious. They're very smart. They'll take.
Sorry,
They'll
Adrian.
pay $10 for a pack of that.
Sorry, Adrian.
They'll take
Yes,
$10
drugs
for a
are
pack
cut.
of that. They'll
Well,
cut
they're
it with
breaking the
other
law.
things that make it just as effectively, and then they'll
Drugs are
go and
cut.
sell it for 5 times, 10 times, 70 times what the value of what that one bag is.
Now
Right.
we're talking about principles.
So
But
it's
then
the same-
again, but
same
then if the
business.
product is bad, but then
Okay.
if the product is bad with the drugs, eventually it will come back to haunt you.
Exactly.
So that is, in a way,
And that's my point.
Yeah, in a way, I didn't really think about it. In a way,
But
that's
now Daniel
it's
Levy's a
only been
drug
20
dealer.
years.
No, he's a house,
A house
flipper.
flipping drug
It's
dealer.
the same thing. It's a house
There's
flipper.
a lot.
House flippers. I don't think house flippers are good businessmen. They're smart.
There is
They're
a lot.
making money for themselves.
Isn't that
But
a
they're
good
not
law around
improving
Tottenham by
the
definition?
product.
What
Huh?
does
There
it,
are a lot around
what
Tottenham,
does it
that's
matter
right.
at the end of the day if you're in business to make money? How does it matter how you make it as long as you're not breaking the law? How is a house flipper not as good as someone else who's doing it? Like what if two people make $1 million each What does it matter how they did it? They're both
because
good
one
business
does
people.
it by destroying. One does it by destroying the actual value of the product. Look, Elon Musk, when he does something, the businesses boom on their own, right? Elon Musk is a good business person. Steve Jobs was a good business person, right? Their companies are far more valuable than VC capitalists who come in and will buy a business, pump a bit of cash in it to blow it up, sell it off, and then it tanks.
Well, that's
years later.
That's a pretty fucking high bar to set for measuring against. If you're going to measure like the
No, I'm not talking about
successful business people in the world, like
I'm not saying that Daniel Levy has to be able to live. I'm talking about the type. It's called a pump and dump,
Frozen.
right? They'll pump money into a business to inflate the value, sell it, they flip it, and then years down the road, because the business is really unstable, the product hasn't improved, the company ends up going under and declaring bankruptcy and crashed. It gets sold over, bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, sold, bought, and sold. It happens in VCs all the time. That's what they do. They go in and buy struggling companies, right? They improve them with adding infrastructure, doing whatever, inflate the evaluation, flip the company, and then you watch them 2 or 3 years, depending on who buys them, 2 or 3 years down the road, the company usually goes tanks and bankrupt because the product hasn't been improved. All they've done is, and so the VCs make out like rich bandits. That's not good business.
How does it matter?
Legal
How does it matter
theft.
if you buy something and you sell it for more money later on?
But it's not
right?
good business, is what I'm saying. It's
To
business.
me,
Yeah.
to me, it matters.
It's not
To Spurs
angelic.
fans, it
But
matters.
that you could say that about anything. You could anyone who goes in and buys a foreclosed property and then they renovate it and sell it. Are they evil because they took advantage of somebody else's financial distress? Business is business. It's
I'm
cutthroat,
not saying you're,
right? It's not
And
about.
you
it's
can
not about
always
the good
do
and the
better.
bad.
And that's like you can always do better, can't you? I mean,
I'm saying
that's
it's
the thing.
easy
Yeah.
business.
You
It's
can
easy.
always
That
do
stuff's
better.
easy, right? Anyone with cash can do that. That's why people with have money win, right? That's why they can make themselves richer. It's because they can go. They have the money to go in and do it. But it does nothing to the heart and the soul of a club, which is supposed to be a community. And so I wouldn't call it good business.
The question
It's
wasn't
business,
about
yes.
heart and soul. The
It was about
question
being
was
a
not about
good
heart and
businessman.
soul.
Is he a
About him being
good
good.
businessman?
If
No,
you take
he's not a
principles
good
out of it,
businessman.
if you take
He
principles
didn't
and morals
take
out of it,
advantage.
you know,
The
Levy's
question
done
was not, is
exceptional.
he a morally correct businessman? It was,
Yes.
is he a good businessman? Is he
Yeah,
good at what he's doing?
and that's why I agree, and that's
He
100%
could.
why I
He,
agree. That's
he
why I
could have done
agree.
better. He could have done better.
With principles over the last 5 or 6 years, he could.
Not
he
even
could have
it's
done
not even
better.
about the principles. He could have done better business to improve the
Yeah.
product that he's selling, and
Exactly.
he hasn't.
Yeah.
He has made
That's
no
what he
effort
does.
to improve the product. He's
Boys,
only
I've
made
got to go. I've
effort
got to
to
go.
increase the
I've got to-
evaluation.
My girlfriend's just done an apple crumble, and she'll shoot me if I don't try it. Look, she's just started baking.
Thanks
She's
for
just
coming on,
started
Tommy. I
baking.
appreciate it.
I don't think it's going to be very good, but I'll try it.
Cheers, Tommy.
All right.
Right,
He
cheers,
did
guys.
nothing to improve the product.
If you want
What, the
to,
apple
watch a preview, football, get over to Spurs on TV. Wolves. I'm doing the Wolves preview. All right. Cheers for having me on, guys.
Everybody
Thanks,
go
Tommy.
subscribe to
Stuff.
Tommy's channel
See you later,
and
mate.
check him out.
In a bit.
Thanks, Tommy, for coming on.
Yeah, buddy. See you later.
What has he done to improve the product?
Yeah,
Cody?
He
What has
could
he
have
done
done
to
better.
improve? I don't know. Look at the fucking $1 billion stadium that they built.
No, the product, which is the
The
football.
product. Football club means
What-
football team. Surely
How
he's
is the
not.
stadium not connected to the product?
No,
right?
That's the store. That's the store. The stadium is the store. What's inside of it is
the
the
foot-
product. That's what we're selling
Yeah.
is football, not the stadium. We don't sell the stadium.
Well, you kind of do though. You sell
Our
tickets.
our brand's
to the stadium.
product. No,
What?
that's you're getting into.
No, I
the
don't.
product,
I
not
don't.
the stadium.
I don't accept that.
It's a football club.
No,
we
I
don't
don't
play
accept
for
that.
the stadium. Do we go out
so
and raise
so
the
when they
stadium
sell it,
up
they're just
every
gonna
year?
sell the players? Are they just going to sell the
The
players?
product is the football. Trophies is the product, right? People go to buy tickets to do what?
It's not the only product.
Look at the stadium. People go buy tickets to look at the stadium. That's what
If
Daniel Levy's
that's true,
trying
how
to
do you
do.
explain? How do you explain that Tottenham Hotspur are one of the biggest brands in world football now? We haven't won fuck
Could
all.
Could they have been a more successful code if he'd invested the way we all know? It's not.
No, that's
it's
not what I'm
hearsay,
talking
the
about.
fact we're-
What is the
No, no,
product?
no.
What do we sell? Do we
The
sell
football team,
tickets
yeah.
to this to go see the stadium?
Yes.
If you are a
We do,
business
yes.
person,
They-
and you
we
own
do.
a business-
Yeah.
if
both,
you're a
man.
business
Yeah.
person and you own the business, when you go to sell, do they look at that and say, "Oh, they won the Premier League last year. They must be worth a lot of money"? No, all they fucking look at is your bottom line, right? That's all they look at when they go to evaluate the club. how much do you owe? How much do you make? Blah blah blah. They don't say, "Oh,
our
you
debt's
guys
way
won
over our
the,
revenue.
You guys won the
Because
League Cup last year.
liabilities
We're
aren't
going to tack
included
on
in
100 million
evaluation.
now."
Liabilities aren't included in an evaluation.
See what can of worms you open here, Bobby, by asking a very simple question.
I love asking a question. I'm just sitting back and enjoying it.
You're
But
He's
watching
done
football,
nothing to
aren't you?
improve the product.
I agree with everything Cody's saying. I honestly do. I think he's done great or whatever. But for me, he could have done better. And so in my eyes, and it's a personal opinion, Cody, in my eyes, he hasn't done what a really good businessman.
You didn't ask that
would have
question,
done.
though. You asked,
Yeah,
is he a good businessman?
I don't think he's a good businessman.
my
I
eyes,
think he's a businessman.
The simplest answer is he's
Yeah.
a good businessman, but he's not a great
No.
businessman. If he was a
No,
great
no.
businessman, he would have invested on the team on the pitch as well as all the other
there's
things at the same time.
there's a personal thing as well. Of
He's
course,
failed
I think,
in some
I
capacity.
think he's a cunt.
Yeah, he's
Like
an
if you're a
absolute cunt.
businessman, if you're gonna be call yourself a
We all agree there.
businessman, if you're gonna call yourself a businessman, you have to have some sense of success. You have to know how to at least do business, or you're not a businessman, right? So doing the basic, increasing the evaluation of a club by increasing the assets of the company, that's the easy part. That's easy. That's what every businessman should do if you have the cash flow. That's what I'm saying. A good businessman does that and improves the value of the product that the company is selling, improves the reputation of the brand, right? Grows the respect of it across the world. And
Okay,
Daniel
so-
Levy
so
has
when
done
we made
bits
the-
and pieces of that
If
through
you
growing the
asked
asset.
this question when we were in the Champions League final, would you say yes?
I would say that he was getting better.
Probably.
Yeah. So 2 years
Yeah.
ago, you say yes.
It's going well.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It was before he went
Well,
those
well,
3
shit,
years
well,
without buying any players, right?
After
There was
the 2016-2017 season, basically.
Yeah.
That season.
before the 20 if you had
Last
asked me
season at the Lane.
2016, 2017, I would have said, yeah, things are looking pretty good, right? Coming from
Yeah.
the 90s, the level of the product had improved to a point. Pochettino had come in and started, after I would say probably even 2 years of getting in the top 4 in a row, I would say, yeah, there's an improvement. But then it died.
And
Right?
that
It's
was-
right then is
yeah,
when it went
And that's where the failure
getting
is.
stale.
Well, apparently,
staler.
I'm just massive protests
Massive protest at the
outside,
Liverpool United game. Yeah, I was just
outside-
reading that.
Yeah, Liverpool United game.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
bunch
really
of
big,
security
you know.
events.
Good luck, lads.
apparently
There's
it's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The players are already in. They were ushered in earlier in the day, just in case. But there's massive protests
Smart that
going
they
on
did
outside.
that, but see how that pans out. I'm curious.
Yeah, they had to sneak him in, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But any hoot, fellas, we've been on here for 2.5 hours. Normally this show only goes for 2. But it was fun arguing with you guys. I like
It's
it.
great stuff.
Was
Thanks for having us.
someone was someone shitting on Alistair Gold earlier? Did I miss that?
There was no
that right,
shitting
or
on.
no?
There was sort of a discussion about whether or not he deserved to be shit on or not, and everybody had a relatively similar opinion about it. It was
On
that,
here or in the comments? Because on here, nobody I think was
No,
for
on here.
pooping
Right. Okay.
on
Fair
him.
enough. No, I just wondered.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we were basically saying that he's not Jesus, right? So don't take his word as or he's not Paul. He's not the apostle Paul.
It's not gospel.
Don't take his word as a religious text. But I don't think that he is in any way nefarious. And in fact, we think that there's a possibility that he's watching our channels, because there are some things that he hit on yesterday in his video that seemed like were said in the Spurs family zone, and things that he hasn't normally said before. Like some of the points were almost quite obvious. So I think that there may be one of the people in the chat who are who he very well could be in disguise.
Yid kid.
Yid kid, yeah. He looked so much. The accent's kind of close.
He's sitting just off camera.
Yeah.
But there will be media outlets out there who will have their own agenda, unfortunately. Not agenda, but there will be duty bound not to say
of
either. Right? I love him as a presenter, but I think Ben Hames will probably have to watch what he says. What do you reckon?
Oh, Ben Haynes has to watch what he says 100%. I mean, he's doing the lead up shows at the stadium with the club. Like he works for the club specifically, so he's not going to be talking shit about his boss. You can't really do that, so.
No.
And understandably, right? I like Ben Haynes. I like him on 90 Min.
Yeah,
I
brilliant.
think he's good,
Yeah.
good host. He does a good job. So it is what it is
brilliant.
when you're in that situation. You kind of have to pick your battles.
Yeah.
Daniel Levy
brilliant.
is a good businessman.
He's a businessman.
Nobody
You'll
asked
never
if he was
get those
great.
words to come out of my mouth.
Nobody asked if he was excellent. Nobody asked if he was the greatest businessman. If he
Yeah.
was on
You
the,
said
the level.
good.
Yeah,
I
it
don't
was
think it's
good.
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 He's a
Right?
businessman.
Good is like the middle of the scale.
No,
right? That's
businessman is
pretty-
the middle of the scale.
Daniel Levy
Businessman is
is a
average.
businessman. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
Yeah, I think good is a bit
That's it.
above middle, but it's not
Correct.
at the top. It's
He
somewhere.
could
in
have been
Business
great.
is the
He's
middle.
average.
You have bad,
He
horrible.
could have been good.
All right, this has been fun, lads.
Right, those are three.
He's
And then you have
good.
businessman, good businessman,
He's-
great businessman, exceptional businessman.
He's good.
Yeah.
Now get out of my
Doing
box.
Yeah.
Cheers, good kid.
Now get the fuck out.
I'm doing a stream tomorrow. Daniel Levy, is he all that? So please come in and
Hey,
join me.
what time's that on, Bobby? Are you sending out a link?
Daniel Levy, is he all that? Is he a good businessman? You'll have to have me and Cody come on and have us talk again. It'll be
Yeah,
good.
just do this argument
Yeah,
all over
definitely.
again. I'll just sit
Sure,
and listen.
Daft Duck will love that.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much. Cheers,
I'll
guys.
send you a picture, Bobby, and you can put it behind you just so that Daft
Yeah.
can enjoy it. And every time point to him and say, Daft. Right
Yeah,
here.
there you go. Send the American flag.
That'll work.
I don't know. Well,
I can send you
And
a
a hot
American
dog.
flag. And the Canadian flag. And the Irish flag. We'll put all
Canadian
three.
flag. Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Represent.
All right.
represent definitely. I'll put the Indian flag up there just for the sake of it as well.
For sure. But you guys don't have to hop off. We'll just do the outro here. Folks watching in the comments, we appreciate you. You guys are the reason that we do what we do. You are the fans. And we appreciate you enjoying our content. And if it wasn't for any of you, none of us would have a platform. So we thank you dearly. Thank you for watching the Thursday Q&A show with the special last hour of the Creators Corner. And we will see you guys next time. We love you.
Ini.
Let's go down.